muốn trị con đại ca này với khi nào mà con có con cá sấu à. Bạn cá sấu nó sọc đại ca. Cúc
Em biết
ngay.
cái beam main nó giống cái gì không? Nó giống nó hơi na ná, hơi hơi giống cái size A của cái map của map size A của cái map Mirage á. Cái góc đấy á, cái góc đi từ Avram lên á.
Mày không nói lúc đầu đứa nào nó còn lick
Còn cái
map của
còn cái size B thì nó giống cái ấy này. Size B thì nó hơi giống cái trong map với Cache. Cái đoạn đi từ mid này nó giống cái đoạn đi trên cao.
It'll start to kind of fall apart for the attackers because they didn't take that extra space.
Cái gì có bạn vừa bảo HC map Corot ngay luôn đi á. Ok.
Exactly. So I think if you're an attacker and you take the site, you might want to go
HC map
maybe
Corot trong
commit a
Minecraft
little
đi
bit
kìa.
more for that elbow space, kind of like stop the rotation a little bit earlier on in this area here. Because if you don't, as an attacker, you're just going to be like fish in a barrel. You're going to get shot from a lot of different angles.
Ôi.
It's around, so you have to go through elbow first and then up the staircase.
So it's almost something you're looking towards, either clearing ahead of the plant, or I guess as cycle, because that's usually where your anchor's going to slip into, much like Split again.
Map này chắc là vẫn phải dùng KO của KO Sky.
I think also it's like, hey, if like your duelist wants the path into heaven on the way to site, like hey, if there's like a waylay or even an omen too, like TPing into heaven and gets that forward position.
Okay, 2 to 4. Also interested to see if there's actually any kind of B post line where they can kind of tuck a couple of players in and then somebody come back and cheese a little bit.
I guess it's playing out. Ooh, hold on. Tens might be doing tens things.
He knows about more as well, but swinging a miss on the second.
Oh, nice.
Oh, he's still good. Nice angle there as well. Nice kind of like playthrough for him. And again, I feel like you're going to be able to hear all these rotations too, because like as much as it is quite a big map, again you can kind of slip through into those mid connectors sort of areas. You can hear these rotations.
Không roll ra được con Regat nào. Cờ hó này nó cặp con Regat B rồi.
It looks massive.
Prius, thank you.
Hello Thái nha.
Thank you. Tens just hit and run again, feeling omnipresent because of control.
Ui, Tens. Ôi, hết thầy rồi.
Deal with him. Vinny and Josh got their work cut out now. There's a fire.
Tiếp tục có chua family mà.
Mel's getting greedy. There it is.
Vinny thằng ấy. Vinny thằng cốt.
Josh alive.
30 seconds left.
Quả Gravet này ác quá.
Toast is the worst kind of player, bro. Like,
my favorite kind of
Em là bóng anh nè.
Ui.
Okay, all good, all saved in the end.
Mà cái bundle mới này chắc chắn sẽ nhiều người mua lắm đây. Có khi người ta mua vì tò mò luôn á.
Animation lạ mà.
I'm trying to have a little look around for like
Gravet đại ca này.
Like the observers normally show me it. You know what I mean?
Nó còn thêm cái
Cha em nghĩ nó sẽ mắc hơn rất là nhiều so với mấy cái bundle còn lại luôn á.
And again,
Không tới đâu, chỉ ngang ngửa.
Đâu nó không để con Gravet đứng giữa nha.
Where's the little soul food?
Yeah, we're not seeing it
Không có đem
that
B.
Nếu có trong giải thì map này không bị ban đầu lạ.
Không, thường thì căn bản mọi người hiểu là
nếu mà nó đủ
các team tập screen với nhau nó còn tập map cũ rồi. Khi một cái map mới ra nhá, chúng nó sẽ hạn chế kiểu bắn bởi vì chưa có thời gian luyện tập.
Ông
công anh nói thế trên mà kiểu mọi người ít chọn ai biết bởi vì nó không thể.
Ông nghĩ ai thắng? Team của Ten thắng nha. Team Toast đó.
Phải có con cá sấu nè.
Absolutely, yeah. And again, it comes back to that sort of. Oh, actually, Mel.
Ui. Ui rồi ôi. Vãi đầy.
There it is. And this
Bên
is a
KOL
feel-good map though. Like,
bên mấy
I
anh
was
kia
initially a little bit
là
worried about
random
some of
mà.
those 50-50 angles, right? It was something that was in my mind, and a lot of people were kind of saying that sort of thing. That
Nó bên đánh toàn KOL hết mà, tất cả KOL hết.
Cái đám mà của thằng tiền về đấy là như là random mà.
Đám một tên là KOL
Cả KOL đấy.
Yeah, I think as well, like
tốt
when you push up through the map, you know.
Người ta nổi mình không biết rồi.
As you slice the pie, right? As you're checking.
Còn bên team KD biết được 3 người. Ten biết được 2.
Em sắp tweet rồi biết mấy thằng
Tôi thắng chắc. Đúng rồi, tại vì có Tens mà.
Biết Tarik có Tarik mình.
Ôi kịp thời luôn.
Người ấy sao á? Tao cũng là người Canada, sao như cả hai team đều ở Canada hết hả?
Cho Seki người ấy mà nhỉ?
Tarik, à không, Tarik người gì?
Anh Bacon ơi, nếu map này ra thì mình tổ chức lại custom hay sao vậy?
Anh đang nghĩ á.
Mọi người vẫn nhớ nha, 20.000 một sao nha mọi người.
Giống như không được Abit đấy.
Rồi. Làm quả custom nhỉ?
Dao, làm quả dao nhỉ?
Để đầu mùa làm luôn.
Ok.
Ngày cập nhật hết ách. Làm
Dạ
luôn.
Mọi người nhớ nha.
Hello, ready xe nha.
Dạ ơi, đăng ký anh Dũng ơi.
Ủa đang custom hả anh? Không, đây có giả đây em ơi. Đây có Visiting Pastor Toronto.
Đăng lên Facebook bảo bị cần sắp mở giải, mọi người nhớ tham gia nha, 20.000 một sao. Rồi tự là chẳng thấy 10 người ai cũng cầm dao thì được bắn súng.
It can be really difficult to fight back in. So we talked about the flank coming through, didn't wrap all the way through spawn, but come back through mid.
Thề luôn chứ, đúng là em cần nâng cấp màn hình càng sớm luôn á.
I think the stage, the stage is actually a really nice pick for the attackers because once they get the site, it like flips the castle. Now they are the defenders almost, and now it's like, okay, how do we?
Có thằng chơi bài giống lên mình.
When the script is flipped.
Năm nay hơi chán. Sao chán đấy Huy?
Nếu mình tổ chức custom thế mình
Ui, tên rồi, coi chừng nhé.
Siêu giống em luôn.
Này cái giống top mid này, giống số đắp đo này.
Ui, đi xuống Vandal nó khác hẳn luôn á.
cũng smite luôn mà.
Ui. Ui giời dao.
Thì bạn có biết bắn con flash gì trong trận đấu, hãy cầm đây nha.
Đang chim một cày sắp mặt và các bài trên 24. Ồ, em vất vả rồi.
Cái side B này tục điên. Tục phở. Phải canh từ
Mình thấy nó giống map xé.
Thế luôn.
Giống xé mà.
Giống hệt luôn.
Tóc tì.
Mày vô lúc nào ấy?
Mày ngồi đây này. Nói chở em.
Mới bắn mic lại.
Cái tiếng của Vandal của cái bundle này nó rất chi là nhẹ lắm luôn á. Tiếng nó nhẹ luôn.
Ô, xem mắt này bắn Dream này bắn Omen này. Mà mày cần smoke fade out. Mà mày cần smoke fade out. Ui.
Không rồi đâu biết. Khó chơi vậy.
Sọt căn mà không cần đấy này.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it with Sid City. She tried to fight up a little bit more, but she had to respect the four-man push coming down at mid.
But it also looks quite playable. If you do fall back away from that kind of like top mid, I guess, op swing position, there is playable space behind it, so you're not completely forced forward. I do want to keep an eye on some of these ults. We start seeing them interact. And again, that Dizzy. So nice. You're seeing like Dizzy looking valuable, the fade eye.
Yeah, that was a reveal over the top as well, yeah.
Really, really lovely.
Wow.
There was a smoke there. Tens.
The fun police are here.
Mới lắm đường khiếp. Đúng rồi. Cái map này nó sự kết hợp của map của CS2 đấy em ơi. Map của Đớt với cả Cache đó.
1, 2, 3. Team mình là 4 người rồi. Thêm anh Black là 5 mà kiếm thêm 5. Đầu mùa anh tổ chức mới custom nữa cho mọi người chơi map này.
Như vậy là mình. Sao tao thấy con Raven B rồi?
I'm just thinking actually, touch it after this round. Let's come through, Vinny's back on his feet. Actually push on to the side.
Mỗi tội đồ nó hơi xấu.
Cái từ bao giờ đầu mùa?
Ui.
Đồ đánh thôi.
Ui. Phải nào Mel bắn cực kỳ nhẹ nhàng luôn á, bắn từng viên.
Khi người ta vào hand.
Rồi 5k.
Trời, bắn xuyên smoke.
Ủa, cái súng nó bắn là nó ra đầu người chơi.
work, you know, especially
Chưa ban
when it comes to compete, you'll have the RR reduction on your losses. So you can really play around, learn the map, you know, experiment with stuff if you're feeling like it.
Các bạn là cái file của Mel bắn nhẹ là bởi vì nó không, mấy bên kia không có gọi pro là kiểu pro file đấy nó đặt tâm sẵn sạc và phát nào bắn mồm luôn.
Nó quay lại.
It makes sense. It does make sense.
You're not hitting headshots with that thing.
Nó khỏe quá.
And this
Phải
is all about that
điên
playable
đi.
space, kind of top middle, right? Again, it does feel like super close, kind of.
Ui,
I guess.
cái nhắm kìa.
Phần đầu nó đẹp.
Cái tính năng nhắm.
Rồi cái tính nhắm nó cái tính năng
Giống bên Call of Duty hơn ấy. Call of Duty có cái nhắm này thôi.
What the fuck? Khẩu súng nhìn nó Transformer quá vậy?
chắc màu variant đấy.
Mà cái bundle mới này cầm cái nhân vật cầm như kiểu nó có một cái bát súng ở dưới á.
Nó có cái grip ở dưới.
Đúng rồi, tay cầm dọc.
Như kiểu Văn Tâm với con ấy.
Ôi giời ơi.
Con dấu.
Lại dư rồi. Ngồi dậy đấy.
I've heard rumors.
Ok, đổi phe nè.
Cái còn tiền không mập. Ông này đã lát cho 2 toán cho.
I mean, visual, yeah, just to come back to the visuals again, like, when you're talking about elevating the art
gặp lại
style,
thằng
the visuals and stuff, the map itself looks great,
này
and
kiểu quá.
the environment on top of that.
Yeah, I mean, like,
cái đó không biết lấy cái gì đánh nó luôn á.
They found one.
Không sốc được nó ấy.
I mean, yeah, the art.
What is going on?
I mean, you can tell the art team had a lot of fun with this one. I think it was like something that we wanted to like really like hone in on. It's like, hey, how can we make our maps look even better than they do already while keeping that gameplay consistency?
Nó cú à.
I am seeing the tacti bear in what looks like a hot tub up there as well. Hopefully we can touch back on that soon as Kaide. I mean, just give Kaide a pistol. For some
Vài tao đủ form rồi.
she is silly
Đủ
good
form, tao
with
bu lì
it.
nó chết liền.
I like that little like overhang kind of denies the.
Giờ còn cái bài dắt vàng này nữa, cái bài dắt vàng này. Chung lên cho gắt be.
Yeah.
A bit of a different setup
Cái
here.
quả bản đồ này đúng kiểu Call of Duty luôn này. Quả bản đồ Call of Duty mà.
Để hack thôi. Hack có người bảo xây map Coro luôn hack kìa.
Ui.
Lưng mỏi gối luôn á.
Anh tôi nghe, anh tôi kiểu đùa. Bay biết đùa.
Giờ kêu xây accent lên chưa?
Vai nồi.
Bắt đầu thôi.
Ui, vẫn là ten như ngày nào.
Mình
Rồi con chó sói má, mình tụi con chó sói.
bắt kiếm kiếm cái tài khoản PBE của Valorant đi, tôi vào tôi xây map rồi.
Ok, chờ xíu nha.
Tài khoản gì? PBE.
PBA test thử cái bộ máy test à?
Cái test cái map này. Cái map này trước rồi.
Bacon ơi. Heavy cùng team với anh đó, của PRX nè.
Nào rồi.
Nha. Thằng được cái bài thằng Gravis đấy, nhưng mà còn cái bài thằng top 1 trâu quá.
Bài top 1 nó trâu lắm, nó không lại đâu bạn.
600 đáy trắng mà.
Nó hai đất nó còn
Ui, nhảy bắn không mà.
Không có đồ đục giáp.
Ui rồi ôi, nhảy bắn chết luôn, rất là khó chịu.
Giáp nó dày lắm. Cái này anh có chuyện xuyên phá, anh thấy cái gì khổng lồ anh nói chuyện xuyên phá thì ngon.
Không.
KD ở đâu nhỉ? Ngay comment nè.
Cái chuyện xuyên phá mới nó như thế nào?
Nó scale đem theo chí mạng.
Thế thì chịu rồi.
Em đang chuẩn bị va vùng với giấy con, chuẩn bị nhanh. Mà Bảo ơi, em có cái bài viết mới của Bacon đó, có gì em ham ra được không thì tụi em nha. Ấy luôn, Bảo Zero Kanchi á.
Không ăn được. Con cái bài đã trâu quá.
Mà hộp
Cái súng
eco.
hai tập-
Hộp
cái
eco
súng hai
chắc.
tập mới nó phế vậy chứ.
Well, just to come back though, also another example where initially the kill goes one way, but if you're stacked up, these trades can come through.
Cái kỳ xuyên phái mới nó yếu, không có đục giáp được. Bà nó giáp vàng nó cái đếm này mà.
Cái quả tâm mà tâm của Toast thì nó hơi ảo ma luôn á.
Tốt bắn sốc lọ này, tốt sẽ kiểu
Cái tâm của Toast á thì nó sẽ hơi kiểu hơi khó nhắm đầu một chút á.
Ê, nhưng mà đấy là do mình đang xem là góc POV của giải á, kiểu POV mà màn hình chiếu á, chứ mình không biết là skill màn hình như nào. Nó có thể để 43 hoặc là 16:9 hoặc là
Chắc nó để
khung
35 hay kiểu 53 như vậy.
Thường mấy thằng mà bắn chuyên nghiệp thì nó sẽ để 43 á, không để 16:9 đâu.
mà nghe một số người nói là kiểu tùy map thì họ sẽ đổi tỷ lệ mà liên tục á.
Đúng rồi. Như kiểu Black mà bắn xét là Black bắn 43, nhưng mà bắn xét là bắn Valo gần 16:9.
Ui, lên được chỗ này ngon này.
Ui, KD kìa. Ui giời ơi, Tez ơi. Rồi ok, bắt được.
What the fuck, em thật sự còn một máu mà.
Em có tập tự nhân sinh mà.
Tự nhiên sinh.
Là mày top 2 đó.
Xuống mới nhìn đẹp ác. Đúng rồi.
Gì anh?
Một là mày
Em top 1 mà, em muốn top 1 mà. Ý là em còn một máu trong khi anh tận 14 máu rồi đấy. Kể cả anh gặp linh thú anh vẫn chửi điểm hơn em.
Có khi anh 10 lại ra sofa tiếp.
Sâu tiên phong.
Anh xui thôi.
Nấy sấy xác cái đêm.
Bắt trưởng. Bây giờ nhá.
Đúng luôn á.
Bây giờ mà cho TNZ vào sofa là cái đấy mất nhà luôn.
Gặp bóng thì tao ăn. Gặp bóng thì tao ăn. Gặp bóng nó không có skill cái bài đất.
Nếu mà có cái gì khổng lồ thì em may ra. Em cần cái gì khổng lồ của anh á. Tại con Raven nó cho ăn sau là ăn.
Thôi, nếu nha, nhiều khi thu bóng để thu bóng.
Anh ơi.
Hả?
Nghe quen quá ha, T-Bag mẹ sấy xác rồi nghe quen quá ha. Các anh nào cũng na ná.
À, em có thập tử nhất sinh, đồ hình kêu thập tử nhất sinh lên khỏe lắm.
Ui, Ten ơi, giao trừ hết. Rồi một. Ui giời ơi.
Mẹ cái anh nào mà nãy cũng sấy xác cũng T-Bag Nguyệt kiểu á.
Anh muốn xem anh quét em gửi.
Đúng mà.
Thì chiều lúc bắn nhau nó bị TBS mà bắn nhau trong Milo kẹp nó bị TBS mà.
Ui, hay. 11 năm rồi.
I guess as well, yeah, you need to hop onto the little, maybe up onto the box to dash, and then maybe it's a little more clunky.
Bao giờ mấy nghe đều đăng ký nha.
Ồ, có super. Ê,
Chắc là làm cái custom cho Vtuber trước xong rồi mới custom.
ui, cái animation gài đạn thề đẹp ác.
Ném mẹ súng đi luôn.
Chê.
Chê vãi, nồi nó đẹp ác gì luôn á mà chê.
Thì không biết em rơi nhìn hay.
Ui rồi ôi.
Bóng anh.
Gặp bóng nó không có kích hệ, gặp bóng thì mày ăn được.
Các bạn sẽ chịu nha.
Ui, hai đầu luôn mà.
Ấy là nó không kích hệ.
Gặp bóng nó chỉ nớp đi 80% đam của anh
Ui.
của các kia linh thú
Có khi anh 10 lại ra sofa tiếp. Có thể luôn rồi đó, 11 năm rồi.
Phi công ấy.
Ủa vãi nội. Easter egg à?
Nó lên level 10 à? Không, nó lên level 10 thì em thua rồi.
Ông điên. Gặp bóng là nó không có kích hệ phi công mà. Nó kích phi công thì mày mới thua chứ còn nó không kích phi công.
Ai trời, trột linh quá.
Mà cái vòng máy kia đó chắc nó sẽ là STF luôn á.
Scale quá còn vi đồ to vãi cức.
Ôi, đúng Phantom Recon luôn á.
Ôi được mỹ
Oh, okay. Okay.
ông tắt tên ở đâu vậy?
So where in the map would you say this is the most feasible approach?
Trong cái meeting room này em không có đọc cái tin nhắn đâu.
Okay.
I think the attackers have a little bit more to work with.
Ông nhắn đâu?
Tầng nhà mình nó
Nhà mình.
là nhỏ bé trước cái dàn này.
Mình phát ở trên kìa.
Chết hả?
Cái tay nhà mình nó gì nó thật là nhỏ bé trước cái dàn này.
Ui, tên cố dao nhưng mà không được.
Tôi nghĩ
What the fuck, con game B.G. Cọc đầu tiên gì đây?
Mon Call of Duty 300GB, what the fuck?
300GB. Phải chứ.
Tôi mua HD 500GB để chơi Call of Duty.
Nó đủ.
Không thể đủ.
B.G. Mua phải về xong rồi nó sồ đây một mớ nó phải gần.
Ui rồi ôi, chơi trò đúng mà dao luôn.
nó có khẩu lục mới hả mọi người?
Khẩu lục
mới có 3 văn đồ với lại
không nãy cái khẩu lục gì nó lạ lắm.
Khẩu lục
nó bỏ nó có tính năng bỏ cái giảm thanh.
Cây gót theo giảm thanh được ấy.
Là hả?
Tháo cái nòng giảm thanh của cây gót đấy.
Mày chả có reset, trời ơi.
Mình đồ mới.
Cái gì set 2 luôn á. Mà dù em là dân chơi set tô trước đây rồi.
Không xe lô địch.
Xe lô địch. Hợp lý.
Một bên đi cầm
Ui.
bên đi cầm Odin.
Ui tường mỏng ác.
Con dao.
Ui là ngồi đây mà sấy vào trong A.
Khó chịu điên luôn á.
Đặt xong rồi ra ngồi.
Yeah, they didn't really get too much from that. Actually, they're.
I mean, yeah, toast the full
Look at mid. They're just getting so much free info.
Oh, comes in.
It's not pretty gameplay.
No, this is not probably the caliber. The next
Khóa
game
súng à?
will be like.
Ok.
But you never know. Oh.
Đây là xảy vô đầu cái
Thank you, Vinny, and thank you, Tarek, for quieting down Team Toast.
Ngủ quen rồi.
tên nó xảy thẳng vô đầu cái đêm.
Hình như bị ngủ nhiều quá nên là thành ra phục thù sao?
Ngủ quen rồi, ngủ quen rồi.
I mean, for Toast, that is just any sort of shotgun, so.
I guess another question as well with the
Ui.
get a reveal into that site, it kind of has to go through the window. What are the opportunities to come over that arch in terms of the skybox? Is there any
Ôi, Tarit ơi.
possibilities for early reveals to set that up, or do you have to take the space in front of that window?
You kind of need to take the space in front of the window. You can do some level of recon.
Dạ, đi ngủ đây, bye bye.
Bye bye.
TP up towards heaven. Tens has it go and it just
Mà ta vô là ta thấy con khủng long thắng thì bị cảnh sát lạnh.
Não.
Kết quả là mày tác chúa ở bên server.
Slippery with these positions, figuring out the map.
Từ đấy cho
Yeah, she did.
Nha, tao vô và tao thấy khủng long thắng thì bị cảnh sát định đây.
Cái nó
no.
Yeah, they took the bait.
This time
The TP in as well.
Oh, Mel is putting on a masterclass. This could be lovely, but a tap on the spike and a draw. The hand has to show. Okay, Mel, you ending it now up against Mel.
Băng số lần hụt hết.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Mel.
She's sticking it.
Where's the time?
Không kịp. Rồi, anh tên ra sofa rồi.
It's our first international Corrode champions.
True. Crown. True. There it is. Mel, top of the board. Tens, top of the board. Very good performance. Nice to see what the open can do here as well. Just TPing around.
Tôi muốn tiếp tục thấy cảnh.
Super nice to witness.
It was. I mean, I'm glad actually we saw a couple of examples, particularly towards mid. Some of the things we were talking about ahead of time.
Thì lát nó lên còn ngồi ấy nó bận thôi chứ đâu.
Phải là PRX.
Yeah.
Cái
I think they were kind of playing at how I would think
Mấy em nhỏ ấy, hay là em nói nhỏ ấy? Sao em nói gì nó lại?
Chả biết mic bị lồn. Chán rồi.
Em vẫn nghe bình thường nè.
Anh vừa tăng lên 200.
Some brawl breaks out on the side. Yeah, it was ramping up a little bit, but I think overall, I just want to see what the teams do with this now in their hands. You know what I mean? Get those pro teams out there, see what they can make this map, because you saw glimpses of what it could look like.
Hai chữ trước chữ sau mất.
Again, we are getting ourselves ready here for the Verizon post-game interview. You can see Yinzu getting...
Đừng nói là...
Chú còn nghe được, chứ như hồi cũng nghe xoáy đâu.
Đừng nói đội thua...
nghe.
Tại vì đội thua bánh kem vô mặt hay gì vậy? Không phải. Chủ bánh kem chỉ được 5 năm nè.
Alright, we're going to pass it on down to Yinzu. Let's hear from the captains of that fantastic show match.
Well, that was a fabulous display of mechanics, skills, talent on the new map. I'm now joined by Toast and Tarek here, but I didn't realize we're going to have everyone here. So real quick, Tens. You're coming back, right? After that, you're coming back.
Maybe. Yeah, Kaide called me Wash, so I had to show her what's up.
You have to come back, Tens. That was crazy up there. But Toast, the judge, the cypher, defense setups, it was so nasty. What about you? Have you ever thought about maybe, I know you like to start your own team, but maybe put yourself in there?
Yeah, this experience has taught me that I don't need to hire players. I can be the player on my team.
I completely agree.
Lại kêu tiệc đình nhưng vẫn thấy trong game.
You brought it as well. Love the things that you managed to show us. What did you make of the new map? There was a lot of kind of new things we saw, the owner spam and so on and so forth.
Lúc đấy đến bây giờ mà.
Well, honestly, that was not a great first experience on the map. I was getting judged, ran down, just like that. But no, I think it's going to be really exciting. And it'll bring a new flavor to Valorant, so it's fun to see what'll happen with it. Yeah, it's going to be good.
And very quickly, which team do you anticipate to be able to take over on this map?
Which team do I think will be good on the map? I mean, I gotta say Sentinels.
I agree with you, but more importantly, there's a reason why there is a cake here. As you guys know, the loser is gonna get this cake to the face. So
biết ngay mà. Người thua uống bánh kem vô mặt. Ủa hết trận cho anh. Hết rồi, team của Ten thắng.
Phải cho Ten lên úp vô mặt kia đi á.
Ôi, Taris.
Còn Ten là còn Ten tới chết. Cho Ten Z nó lên úp vô mặt kia đi.
Oh no. Ôi Taris ơi, gương mặt. Làm tí tra tấn ngón tay không anh? Thôi em ơi. Mình đang coi chuẩn bị hai team chung kết nè. Ồ, nhưng mà ngon phết gì.
All I gotta say is I'm a little bit jealous because I look like red velvet and I love me some red velvet. Body built by red velvet.
Xong giờ tụi nó ngồi nói chuyện tới 12:30 nó mới bắn nè.
Đúng rồi. Bây giờ bọn pro sẽ phải vào check tạm mấy cái thứ nó ok không?
You guys know them, right? Give it up, you don't mind. Give it up. Muchas gracias. All right, so we do this every event.
We do.
It's kind of become a tradition of ours at this point, which is super fun. So why don't we go ahead and first talk about the new map. Just debuted new map. Looks awesome, looks super fun. Personal experience, have you had a chance to play on it? Who you main on it?
I have played on it. I haven't decided who I want to main on it yet.
Okay.
I loved watching it in action today, though, because we make these things. We have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I love watching them try. It was great.
And the trailer was great. The cinematic was awesome.
Oh, it was super dope. Super dope. And that cake was Super Cakes approved.
Super Cakes approved.
Super Cakes approved.
That's right. You got to hear first. But Leo, yeah, I mean, this map looks like it's going to be a pretty fun addition to the circuit when we finally get it added there. Lots of variety as far as like defensive holds are concerned, even though we did see the attackers really do some work. So I think teams are going to have some fun with this one. What do you think about it?
Man, we're very excited. Look, this map is going to bring something like a more straightforward type of gameplay to Valorant and the VCT. As you said, it is supposed to give you more of that layer defense to our competition. So yeah, we're very excited.
Yeah, I'm pumped to see how some of our pro teams take to it.
That's right. Maps always play a big role in how you know Valorant unfolds. So looking forward to seeing it in play.
Exactly. Now, another thing, and you guys can probably see it over here, is our MVP bracelet, because we're going to be awarding our most valuable player at the end of this. Leo, who's in your running so far for MVP?
Look, man, I think we have really good candidates this event. I think, I think our boy Forsaken has a real shot.
Cái đó như vòng tay đúng không nhỉ?
He's been in with that roster since 2021. You know, his flex player been killing the event, so we'll see.
Right.
But
okay, Toronto, how we feel? You think Forsaken could be MVP? Toronto, what do you think? We got some Forsaken fans out here. Anna, what about you?
All right, I think I'm gonna go Fnatic. I'm gonna say, it doesn't even need up to me. I saw them crown Kayak yesterday. They crowned their own boy.
They did crown Kayak.
So they're telling us they crown Kayak. I'm going with Kayak.
You know what? Honestly, Kayak has been looking incredible up there. We're looking forward to seeing him take to that stage. Oh yeah, that kid's incredible, without a doubt. Now, all right, well, look, we'd like to talk about some fun stuff up here. And any news that we should be expecting late this year and beyond regarding, the game, the sport, everything? What do you got to share first?
I mean, there's always something coming, right? So, look, it is June, right? June? We're still in June, I think.
Yes,
June?
Crazy enough. It feels like it's been 5 years.
I know.
Yes.
Like, every time we come to one of these, I feel like the year just ended. This one has not ended. We still got a lot to go. Of course, we have another agent coming out this year, so we've got that to look forward to. Yeah, no details, but yes, we do have another agent coming. We've got replays, finally. Replays on the way.
Replays! We like replays.
I don't think we deserve applause, but I am super happy that they're coming. We've got the Unreal 5 update. I actually did want to say, we saw a lot of player chatter around concerns that maybe UE5 is going to make it less performant on lower end machines. I actually think it's going to do the opposite that. So I want to make sure people don't have to worry about that. Game's still going to run really well. And then I think, we're going to spend the rest of this year really dialing in things like gunplay, agent abilities, things like that. That's going to be a big focus for us. Hopefully you've already seen some of those changes coming online. We've been working on that a bit. I've seen it in this event actually paying off a lot. But I think what you're going to see post-champs is some of our a little bit more aggressive changes. Not too aggressive, but there's a good chance we break some stuff, There's a good chance we break some stuff. But the goal is to get it fixed and good heading into 26. So I think the game's going to be in a really, really good spot heading into next year.
Oh, I know a lot of people are excited about that for sure. And, for me as a little esports nerd, Leo, what do we have? Because champs around the corner. We're going to Paris. It looks like it's going to be a blast. What do you got?
Champs is always, the moment we pull all the stops. Of course, we have stage 2 before, and that playoff is going to be sick. But yeah, champs coming up. Paris, by the way, a reminder for everyone, verify your account if you want to buy tickets, right? We want to make sure tickets go to fans. We have a verification process, so make sure to verify your account. But look, we're very excited. We've been trying a number of new things this year, including leading a little bit more to this convention vibe, more community, more activation, fans closer to the action. And we're seeing that in Toronto. We're going to see that at Champs. But of course, we still have more to come. We have Ascension after Champions. We have Game Changers Championship coming to Law Park Control for the first time.
That's going to be so awesome. I'm excited for that one.
There's still lots to come this year.
Yeah,
Khi nào xuống thì nói đi, để mất
myself
công
as like an old school
nó khóa màn hình.
sports kid who went to these conventions back in the day, compete in a lot of these tournaments. It really did bring back the feeling for me. I do want to give a special shout out to the Artist Alley. They are absolutely incredible out there. And if you're in the venue and you haven't had a chance to check out Artist Alley yet, please do so. Support local artists. They can very much use your support, and really just creative stuff, man.
I spent so much.
Okay. Hey, and then there's more money to spend. No, but seriously, go check them out. It's amazing stuff here. And speaking of amazing, we're actually celebrating 5 years of Valorant, and it has been
playoff win cả ba game,
to
yes sir.
get to this point here, Leo. What's one of your favorite memories, man?
The Rex would
It's hard to choose one. I think there's so many. I really love that very first event we had fans, a crowd in Copenhagen.
Yeah. That was my first event. Yeah, man.
Lock-in holds a special place in my heart. But I think my favorite is Champions in LA. Just because, look, it was such an iconic venue. It was Riot's backyard. It meant a lot to us. And the whole story of that tournament was beautiful. Seeing that team
đầu mùa thì chắc phải đợi update xem.
Lifting the championship trophy in front of the home crowd, it felt very special.
No idea.
Such a moment, without a doubt. All right, and what about you? What's your favorite memory of these 5 years?
This was like the hardest question on this entire thing.
Yeah, it's still listed as TBD.
I know it's TBD in your notes. I was like, what? One thing for 5 years. Look, I will say, I think closed beta, honestly, is like it's gonna just. I don't know what's gonna top that feeling in that moment when like we had put our heart and soul into this thing. Yeah. We didn't know if anyone was gonna want to play it. We didn't know if anyone was gonna show up. And then those servers started lighting up. Twitch streams, code drops. Like it was so overwhelming. Andy Ho, our EP, was like physically dropping codes to people. We're like calling, can we get more servers? And that's kind of like, you know, it was like this moment where we knew like we'd made something that people would like want to play and that they would want to invest their time in, and that was the dream. Like we didn't make it for us, like we made it for all of these people. So that moment, well, I don't know what.
I mean, you know, even from like me as like a video game industry nerd, like what you guys accomplished releasing a game during COVID like that was actually quite unprecedented at the time and was historic. Actually laid the groundwork for a lot of the industry moving forward. So, and that's not blowing smoke. I'm being honest. Like that genuinely is like what happened. So you guys have a lot to be proud of there.
Thank you so much.
And it's been quite the journey.
Thank you.
It
it's
really
been a
has.
huge journey. Thank you. And thank you to everybody.
For real. Yeah. And seriously, I mean, it's always a pleasure to get an opportunity to chat with you guys. There's always going to be more trickles of goodness down the road, and I'm excited for it as well. But for now, folks, that is where we are going to leave you here. For now, you mind giving us a round of applause for Leo and Anna. Thank you so much for joining me here on the desk.
Thank you, Toronto!
Because Toronto has been incredible, and the good news is we have more to come because the grand finals between PRX and Fnatic are around the corner. But for now, let's go ahead and hear from one possible MVP contender. We spoke with Jing about making the grand finals in this Omen player moment.
Hello everyone, I'm Jing and I'm from PRX. Also really good. They're definitely a really good team, and they also came into this tournament with a lot of confidence. I think Vtuber has played a really big part in helping them. I've seen like many clips online of him like cheering his team up and just giving his entire team a lot of energy and confidence. So I think they played a really big part in right now. So yeah, I think that was really important. So big props to Vtuber VB.
Gonna have to do work here. Vtuber VB does well to find them.
Of course, it's really exciting and really proud of my team because in Pacific we were like down 0-3 and we barely even made it to playoffs in Pacific. So yeah, I mean now we have really good momentum. So hopefully the Cinderella run continues. I see all the PRX jerseys in the crowd. You guys truly fuel our will to win. This one is gonna be for you. Thank you.
Now, these two teams have both made incredible runs in their respective brackets to get to this point. The PRX train rolled through the uppers and scored 3 straight 2-0s, taking down many tournament favorites along the way. And then over on the lower side, you had Fnatic, who survived 4 straight elimination matches, including a best-of-5 to make it back to their first grand final in 728 days. Of course, joining me back on the desk here, you have Kukuka as well as Mimi, as we're going to break everything down for today's grand finals matchup between PRX and Fnatic. But before we dive into everything, that is going to bring us to our MasterCard fan poll. We want to know which
có người nói là PRX mà không vô địch là do content đó.
Cast your vote for PRX or Fnatic, and then of course all throughout the finals, make sure you use the hashtags VCT as well as Valorant Masters so we can get your good stuff.
Bộ đồ của vai đẹp quá.
PRX thắng ha.
Lâu thật ra.
Chuẩn bị nè.
Này mình chỉ vào Minecraft với mục đích là mình đã đăng ảnh sẵn meme rồi. Thua sẽ có meme, thắng có meme, treo khắp nhà bê cứng.
PRX fell to FPX's incredible lower bracket run, and then it was another heartbreak when they came back again a couple years later to qualify to the grand finals at Champions in Los Angeles. So now, Bea, the question today is, will the third time be the charm for PRX?
Yeah, exactly. It's not only that, they've been a part of so many
PRX 3 lần lọt vào chung kết nhưng mà không biết chừng nào win nữa.
It's not only the grand finals, also the lower brackets. They still have to win a best of 5 globally.
Sẽ ban bạn bảo fan cái gì? Ban 2 bạn bảo phần fan Fnatic ngẫu nhiên nha.
We see on the right side Fnatic with those 2 firsts and then going down but coming back up. But for PRX, they're on the same of like, let's go back to greatness and set a difference today.
In terms of every team in Valorant, PRX is one of those organizations that has the deepest pedigree. That have been to almost almost 10 global events across their history in the game. The fact that they don't have a trophy yet
Gặp
is
là
a
ngẫu
shock.
nhiên.
And that's why people love this team, why they root for them, because everyone has been waiting for that moment where it finally happens, where they finally lift a trophy. And today they have another chance.
They really do. This team has certainly won the hearts of a lot of people throughout their tenure in the history of Valorant esports. But that young man on your screen there is someone who we thought we said goodbye to for a little while, but turns out not to be the case. Jing came back with the squad and ended up being stronger than ever, Mimi.
This was supposed to be his last match at Champions when they lost in that finals. It was a heartbreaking way to go. He went to register for his national service, which is required for everyone in Singapore, but it turned out that he had a medical issue that meant that he could not complete that service, but that he still could come back and play. So PRX got this opportunity to have their superstar, who they didn't even think that they would have, back on their roster. And now, more than a year since they thought it would be his last game, he's in another final with the squad that has always been his.
If you think about PRX, you have to think about Jing. If you think 100%. Of why you love this team, why you support them, it's being crazy. It's playing the game the way no other team apparently can do. And one of the players that is one of the best in doing so is Jing. He thrives in the chaos. And I think that today has a very good chance of getting that MVP bracelet if PRX manages to get the victory.
Which would be massive for him. But taking a look on the other side of the stage, you have that guy right there, Chronicle, who is looking to become the undisputed GOAT, greatest of all time in Valorant. If he wins this tournament, it will be 4 trophies for this man.
4 lần Global Trophy à.
Chronicle is one of the biggest legends of this game. He was one of the first ever winners that we had in EMEA back in Masters Berlin. Doing it with different rosters, doing it from different roles. There is nothing Chronicle cannot do. Initiator, Duelist, Sentinel, it doesn't matter. And if we take a look at the numbers, he's always been one of the most consistent players in this game.
Valorant's most consistent player, I would say. He has been here since the beginning, attending the second Masters event and lifting a trophy there, going to the final Champions that year. No matter what time, what meta, what teammates, Chronicle goes deep in tournaments, and he only gets better the bigger the stage is. He's already improved from the group stage to now in playoffs, and you know he's the type of guy who's gonna step up in a grand final like this one.
Oh, without a doubt. Now, of course, you do got to consider the IGLs in this moment here, because you have Boaster, you just saw on your screen, and Forsaken. And Forsaken stepping into this role for the first time here. This is a huge opportunity for him, and he's going up against one of the greatest callers in the game. It's a tall task to ask of this young man.
For years, you ask PRX, who's your IGL? Who's your IGL? They're gonna tell him, we're all
Valorant
going,
is the IGL.
We're doing whatever. But now you ask him, and they're gonna say Forsaken. He has stepped up as a leader through what has been the hardest patch for PRX. They had a really rough 2024. They missed out on Bangkok, the first ever global event in Southeast Asia, at home for them. But now here they are again with an opportunity and against a guy who's always loved this team.
Exactly. Boaster has always been in the side supporting, right? Because we've never seen these two teams playing on a best of 5. So of course, when the tournament runs deep, I think that we've also seen in socials throughout the years how they have such a good relationship between these two teams, between specifically these two IGLs. I love the fact that we have a PRX that still, throughout the years, has managed to make this style work.
Boaster was a grand finalist for Valorant's first ever global event, and he's still here. He's still bringing up new rookie players. You look at Alpha, he was the guy who brought him into Tier 1. In a lot of ways, made him the MVP candidate he is today. Now Boaster's here again, without Durka, without Mini, those right-hand men he had for his entire run as a leader, and he is still championship caliber. You have to say, if he wins today, there's no contest that he is Valorant's best IGL.
You don't get to this position this many times by mistake. Plain and simple.
No, absolutely. And I think that we have seen his evolution also emotionally. He's lived through every single one of these tournaments. We've seen it at the highest and also at the lowest. So seeing him back here, it speaks volumes about what we say.
It's going to be incredible. Now, today will be the first global finals for our rookies. Let's go ahead and hear what Kayak and Patman had to say to Yinsu, earlier today.
I've now got the super rookies of the tournament here with me, Patman from PRX and Kayak from Fnatic. You might have an idea what the other person might be feeling right now because it is both of your first tournaments and you're ready in the final. So I wanted to ask you two questions. First of all, Patman, what does it mean to you to make it already this early on in your career?
Of course, it's a dream come true. Like before, I'm just watching everyone, and now I'm playing in a grand final. So yeah, feel excited.
And Kayak, you won Ascension, you know, like 9 months ago, and now you're ready in a global final. How does that feel for you?
I mean, it means a lot, but it's a game same as other games, so no extra pressure, no anything, no expectations. So hoping for a good game.
And of course, the final match, the opponents are very interesting as well. What do you think about PRX?
I think they are good opponents. I wanted to face them like before the grand final, but didn't get a chance. So finally we meet each other, and I think both the teams have much different play styles. So
web nào đặt cược
I hope so too. And what about you, Patman?
Vãi trưởng.
Ái nồi web đặt cược à?
Cái gì đến lìn nó?
I feel so excited to face against them because before I'm just watching Bolster do like cool walkouts, and now I'm facing with him. So yeah.
I can't wait to see your walkouts. Thank you very much.
Earlier on, we asked you for the MasterCard fan poll who you thought was going to walk away with the grand finals victory. And the results are in the community.
71,6%.
Hay inbox riêng gửi cho chị luôn rồi.
Ủa mặt vô.
For a couple different reasons, right? That this feels like it's just their time. Losing 2 finals before, being in another one, having a double ban advantage.
Gửi cho chị nó bảo ơi chị dám cá về chị cá cược uy tín không mày? Má tao đọc mày ba cái này gì? Nhưng mà không.
Tenacity of this lower bracket run, that they've done it already on maps they're not good at, and even with that double ban advantage, I think if this gets deep, if we get to a map 5, I back Fnatic in those high pressure positions.
And when we look at the record that we were speaking about, those best of 5s, both of the times that PRX made it to the grand final was also through the upper bracket. And if history is to repeat itself, maybe that advantage is not enough if the other team has been having everything on the line for so many days.
The first trophy that PRX ever lost was to an EMEA team who went on a lower bracket run when they came through the uppers. It's a question of
just like Fnatic.
3 years on if history repeats itself here.
Oh man, they say lightning can't strike twice here in Toronto. Well, we're about to find out, people, because after 12 days of competition, we're now down to the final 2. It's PRX versus Fnatic. Best of 5 for the trophy. The Masters Toronto Grand Final starts right now.
Phúc Long.
PHE Phúc Long quay khé. Chào. Tống Cha.
Cha.
It's like one mind
gì?
as a team.
Là Coffee House.
Cũng được. Coffee House là sợ hơi nhạt.
Dạ, trà sữa nhà làm.
Like usual, but there's some pride on the line here. Together boys, together.
Track by track, the final destination is now locked in for PRX.
I think this moment is really exciting. We barely even made it to playoffs in Pacific, so really proud of my team.
2 years in the making, but PRX are finally back in another grand final.
First time I ever made it to grand finals, it was Copenhagen. I mean, of course we were kind of sad, but at the same time we were so happy and proud of how far we went. Second time I was in grand finals was Champs LA. I still remember the feeling of walking past EG and watching them hold up the trophy. Their loss was quite hard on all of us. We thought like we had the experience from Copenhagen and we would play really well in LA Champs, but unfortunately that was not the case. After the tournament, everyone received so much love from the fans. That made me really happy as well, and it made me push harder to keep being good at the game. Just like us, it's been long since Fnatic has been in the grand finals. It's gonna be a great match.
It's been a while since I've been in the grand finals. But damn, does it feel good to be back.
Fnatic bringing out a brand new look. Beautiful from Fnatic.
Quá đã. Đầu tháng hàng cao.
còn là các siêu.
I already 3 trophies. Doesn't matter what happened in the past.
One hell of a lower bracket run so far.
What matters is the current moment.
Vậy đầu tháng đi ha anh.
And how you handle it.
Còn mai thì đi chứ, mai vẫn đi.
Ok.
Để nhắn lần lại.
This is my first time to have a chance to lift a trophy. I will remember this moment.
Vẫn giờ giống như bình thường đúng không anh?
I think the best aimers is Turkish players. If they try to pick me, I'm gonna show them where I'm from.
This time, I'll be the one lifting the trophy.
We're on my home soil now, so it's time to take over.
We're gonna show you that we are the better team. With my boys, I know what we're capable of, and I know that we can reach the top.
You are all my family. Let's go get that trophy.
Let's make some bloody noise.
Get ready to get wrecked. The train is coming.
Vô rồi. Ôi có cúp kìa, ôi cúp màu hồng đẹp ấy.
Ôi.
Cúp đẹp nha. Ê, anh nghĩ là cúp này em mà mặc bộ Spider-Man hồng thì lại cầm cúp là đẹp.
Hay nè, hay anh Black ơi.
Cái kỳ.
Cái gì tới cùng, cái gì tới hơi đầu cuối cùng.
Batman. Something.
Ông chú.
Đủ. Ui, đám vô địch.
Đủ anh Trinh.
Cái đám vô địch luôn mà. Vãi nồi, cái ông chỉ trình la hét chưa. Hết thôi luôn mà. Ôi giời ơi.
Mình mới xem mình còn run đấy.
Áp lực mà. Không sao.
Mình xem mình còn run.
Ôi vãi nồi, cái ông huấn luyện viên bên phần đá tích cao hơn những còn lại luôn á.
Đúng mà thua 3 cái final rồi nha.
Không ai tắm cho mà xong 4 lần.
Sunset Iceball. Chỉ cấm hai map Harvard và Ascent à. Map đầu tiên là PRX chọn Sunset.
Fnatic, where they've been showing a different face. Sunset is where things are going to start. And I'm surprised that Fnatic, even though they've been leaning towards the Lotus, towards the split, they decide to go for Icebox as their first map pick.
I actually like this idea. They leave the Lotus, the split. I think the two most even maps in this series for the end. Fnatic, though, they need to win on Icebox, because Pearl's their permaban. They've never won on Sunset. They are massively unfavored against PRX on those two maps. If they win today, I think it has to be a 5-map series. It goes all the way.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a very testing the resistance of the team. I think the third one is the one that is the most exciting, and you have a very good point. Fnatic, they probably will suffer in the first half of this veto, but this is what it all comes to. Yes, you've been learning a lot throughout this event. You've been showing new faces, new compositions, and you've also dealt with defeat. How far can you take it?
This final is so interesting. Such different styles of teams. The fastest squad on the attack side at this tournament. PRX, who's prioritizing these double duelist comps, who is fast, they're crazy, against Fnatic, who is a team all about the macro. They play slow. They try and make every decision perfectly. There could not be teams more opposed in the way that they want to play Valorant, facing off in this final.
But you know what's really interesting to me here, girls, is that, look, yes, PRX have been known for that W gaming lifestyle, and we love the W gaming lifestyle. But one thing that we have seen at this event, might be a little cringe, W strategy. We've seen these two teams, but most importantly, PRX add depth. Exactly, that is the perfect word there. And it came in the form of Patman, but it also came with this squad, really Kukuka deciding, hey, in order for us to hit that next level, this structure, the way we have to build needs to start from the foundation ground up, and they have done exactly that, and now look at where they are right now.
Oh, I think that especially because of the way the PRX plays the game individually, fundamentally, they have to be the best, because they have to thrive in the chaos that they themselves want to see themselves in. So for that to happen, everybody has to have the right reaction, the right read within the game. And I think that Fnatic are going to struggle, especially and mostly important is not when the round happens, but after a very quick round. If PRX hits you with another quick round, the downtime, the pre-round becomes the most important part in the game.
Yeah, getting hit with a jab and a right hook right after the other, and that is something you do not want to have happen.
And that's where it's going to be difficult, I think. Most of these players, they've been on these stages before. They've won trophies, or at least gotten damn close in the case of PRX. But for two of them, they are brand new rookies, where this is their first global tournament stepping onto this stage. It hasn't even been a year since Kayak won Ascension in EMEA. It's barely been any longer since we saw Patman lose out on his opportunity to even go to Pacific Ascension before he got this opportunity with PRX. And now they're both in a final.
And now one of the reasons why maybe Fnatic has been able to make it this far is the new revamp that we've seen.
Nó phải đánh Beacon mới được.
Both Scat coming from BBL and
mấy trăm cái to lên, mấy chục cái tắt to lên.
Gì mất cái gì? Mất cái sugar hả?
Một cái sugar bao nhiêu nhỉ? Hay là cái bao nhiêu slot?
Ồ, biết anh trình tới phần biết anh trình rồi.
Cái sugar là 27 slot.
27 slot, thì phải ngược 300 nữa thôi.
Giờ chỉ còn một cái lỡ dở thôi, không đủ.
Rồi. 2 smoke, 1 sen, 1 ini, 1 duelist. Bên kia vẫn đang suy nghĩ với Legend.
Especially when you like playing slow like Fnatic. So on the second half, that's what I'm looking at on the side of PRX.
And especially looking at Chronicle, Valorant's winningest player. He is so good at finding those timings, finding those gaps. His lurks have been impactful for all the years he's been at the top.
Oh man, you can feel it in the venue here. It feels as if, you know, this is like a Super Bowl type of joint right now, and I'm all about it because you got these two teams with such incredible stories that have brought us so much entertainment throughout the years. You talk about the 5-year celebration of Valorant's history. These two teams have been there practically from the start. So for these guys to be a part of this moment, but also to be facing each other on the stage like this, Mimi, in such a fashion, it really is something else.
It's truly special. Crashes as well. He was there.
Fnatic cũng y chang, nhưng mà một agent thì khác nhau. Không, 2 con chứ.
Signs with Fnatic, moves to Europe, and now back on another master stage at another grand finals with a completely new roster.
And you know what's really impressive about this Fnatic team for me, Bea, is the fact that this squad feels calm and composed in the moment. And in fact, they feel like they're relishing in this atmosphere.
Yeah, there's been some moments, right? But I think that they are learning from all of those moments. One of the people that has learned a lot and evolved a lot, not only Kaya that we're seeing here and how exponential his run through Valorant is being, is also Alpha. The way that he controls mid on this map, if he is able to make a difference from map 1, it is not a good prediction for PRX.
And that's what it's all about right there, the trophy. And for this young man, that has eluded him for so long in his career. Even the other guy to his right there, Forsaken, now putting himself in a position to lead the team to victory. But folks, the moment is finally here, and the trophy is within reach. Let's get the grand final started and send it over to two of the greatest of all time. It's Bren and Sideshow.
Well, kind words from G, but there is energy here in this arena today. We have two titans of the sport, to be honest. Legacy teams that have been there since the beginning, and they are battling tooth and nail now for a chance. PRX have had many chances in the past, but now is another one in front of them, and they are going to want to grip it, but they are Fnatic, unstoppable all the way through that bracket. Looking to carve themselves into the history books a little bit deeper.
Chích điện nó đi người. Chích điện nó đây, chích điện nó đây.
Ý chích điện gì nữa?
Chích điện bên cạnh đây.
Làm gì?
Tao vừa móc một cái rương pháo hoa rồi.
Cái gì? Hả? Cái gì?
Mấy cái cú đó màu hồng.
Stream màn hình có kéo ơi.
Tao mất nguyên một cái rương pháo hoa được cái cây sạch be rồi. Một cái shooter.
Thì mình coi kéo thôi. Đúng á. Thằng Bảo nó thật sự nó gửi cái web của các cược cho em Hoàng Anh à.
Phải luôn. PRX công trước à? Ok.
Xong ngồi chơi nha. Tại vì
đi ngủ đây.
Bấm điện thoại đây. Tao chỉ dùng điện thoại để xem.
4 đi Ebo nè.
Chắc chắn tao phải xem được một trận thằng PRX này thua mới được.
Quá dữ. Ok.
Nó xíu 3-0 ha.
Mơ đi.
Chỉ góc không có.
3-0 thì mẹ mai khao hết nguyên cái CHE này ăn. Chấp cho cáp lại mẹ bằng chứng gì gửi vô trong chất tổng chấp gửi hết luôn.
Thằng PRX này 3-0 tao quay với các em tao thấy bao nhiêu lâu đà.
Real.
Đủ.
Ok. Thế chú vào call bằng điện thoại nữa không? Để lát tụi mình kéo xuống. Đó kìa.
Giờ tao sẽ xem tao sẽ với những thằng này phải thua được một trận.
Đang gỡ kìa.
Cái lồn gì vậy? Phát cái lồn gì vậy?
Yes sir, và nó tích 1-0. Wow, tuyệt vời.
Đã biết gì đi đâu luôn. Cái lồn gì vậy?
Rồi, tới rồi. Gặp Fnatic rank rồi. Yes sir.
Something trên sofa.
Chấp rồi.
Ôi. Ai chờ đi flank đi lướt thành công luôn mà.
Chấp rồi. Hoàng Anh ơi, bú tình.
Ôi, cùng.
Cường chơi Omen thì ok, không nói.
Tại căn bản nó something nó đi chết second á, dịch đi first á, dịch đi đầu á, entry đầu á, nhưng cần something vào đổ trước mẹ, nó số va con hợp vị trí đó.
Viper looking.
Storylines, talent, it's all there. Plenty of players looking to get their hands on that trophy, lift it, add another one to the tally perhaps for some of them.
And Alfia as well, who's making a run towards MVP at this event. I think might be the first contact against these eco players. He's able to challenge a bit more aggressively.
To Paranoia to try and set him up.
Ôi giời, Cường chết.
The Alpha's taking liberties. There's a guy that has been let loose, unleashed, an MVP candidate.
Of course, he can take these risks with just a pistol in hand. He's not going to be offering up any sort of guns here.
30 seconds left. Spike
Death by
down
1,000 cuts. PRX are feeling right now.
And another really
Bắt hai
solid
súng.
hold on. PRX not doing anything too crazy just yet. We know that this is a team that can turn up the tempo massively. But early on here
Kịch
on
bản nó sẽ là
Sunset,
như thế này. Thua tầm 6-0 gì đấy, bắt đầu gỡ sóng. Bắt đầu gỡ.
playing to slowly contact into areas.
Keep that to yourself.
What this Fnatic defense looks like. The
Đang
more
học
you
tiếng Địch mà.
contact, the more important people like Alpha and his utility become. And Crashies, the drone, the recon, Alpha's trips and cam. And this round, expecting a B pop, Boaster's got the troops positioned to defend on B. 4 players stacked from Fnatic.
All stacked up. Crashies, the lone defender towards A, full confidence in the retake, and Kayak gone wandering, lurking up through mid. He's going to be getting a lot of information.
This is a really nice timing, and PRX, one of the only things they do wrong is clearing these kind of spots.
Slight miss shot.
Good information though for the attackers and Crashies.
Thầy có phép tôi bắn map này nó chỉ kèm mỗi cái tường, cái A cắt đôi cái side kia.
That's the only lurk player. It's difficult to expect the other 4 stacked up behind, but Kayak has read it.
Here comes the pincer. Here
comes Ôi.
Kayak instantly domes 2. PRX are left reeling on their buy round. Fnatic maintaining discipline. Composure that sailed them all the way through here. The rifles. It's going to have to be raw heroics to see if he can stand the chance in this one. PRX none the wiser. Lurks on lurks. Alpha here dropping Divine and a spike.
Trên cơ được hôm đây.
It's inevitable at this point.
Jing's got an impossible task ahead of him. A 1v4 stuck in elbow. Even if he tries
Kẻ elbow rồi, cũng biết đâu rồi đó.
Spike abandoned. Fnatic can put the squeeze on. They'd love to get another rifle on board.
Rồi lội.
And deny it away from PRX.
Percentage.
He can't even get one.
Ui.
What a beautiful round from Fnatic, Brennan. A couple of strategic
Pha chơi của đúng 6 máu.
this EMEA team looking strong early. One of which is Kayak is feeling confident enough to go for that kind of play in round 3. This is a rookie player coming in, having just won Ascension. He's played fantastically inside EMEA in stage 1. But to be able to do that in your first global event, in your first grand finals, that is confident. That's what you need. And the other part too is they're stressing the flank. PRX don't have a Cypher, they don't have a Vice, they don't have any ability to watch the flank with some kind of piece of util. And already after round 3, Alex is calling a timeout. This is a worrying sign.
Worrying sign, nghe chưa?
This is the map that arguably they're the most favored on. That's why they've taken us here first.
There's all that talk about, listen, the double map advantage. Fnatic don't have a deep map pool. Let me tell you, when you get to grand finals, when you get into that best of 5 territory, forget the strategy, the experience plays the biggest difference. Fnatic have that in spades. You can make the same argument for PRX, but they've never done it. They've never lifted a trophy themselves before. They've come close, and they've always missed the mark. It's one of the things that's going to be circling around their heads.
If you think all the way back to Copenhagen,
chấp luôn cái cúp Master.
the final map, as far as I can
hơi
remember,
quá.
through a crazy composition out there as well.
Chấp
Playing
hơi lố.
Breach on Breeze, which is just, I mean, even in the current Yoru
4 Stinger, 1 series.
They were always happy to
PRX bảo là dặm 3 cái cấp master, bộ mày không cần. Bộ mày làm content thôi.
Ideas and strategy and ways of anti-threat and breaking down what PRX have got in store for them, especially on maps they knew were coming early, like here on Sunset.
The Outlaws to thrive in this setting. See your players on half armor, the dart.
PRX chưa bao giờ có cúp Bacon Cup.
Never a worry, never a doubt that that recon was going to get broken. Crashies always had that, leaving Kayak to hold onto the smoke. Forsaken.
Yes, risky business, but again, risks have to be taken when you're down like this. PRX want to increase the tempo, increase the heat. Taking control out towards market already. Stray shots, no damage, and need a couple more where that comes from. And now putting in the crunch.
Spike down B.
And they crumble towards it, but there's rifles in the hands of Chronicle, and he's taking this.
Ui rồi ôi. Má góc điểm nhất luôn ấy.
Alfia gonna have to be a hero here, coming back through market. PRX have done a great job of getting back into this round. Put a serious squeeze on the Boaster, he just couldn't hold up to the pressure.
Hai hàng đứng góc.
Trying to do some damage towards the end of this one. Alfie has left it down to the 1v1. Forsaken.
Sao lại ngồi? Sao lại ngồi?
Hay luôn.
Huge kill off screen as well. The Turkish aim comes through and saves Fnatic in a situation where things got sticky. Light weaponry, only stingers out for PRX, but they're still down 0-4. Interesting moment in that. Boaster threw a counter paranoia to try to keep players back in market. Patman just ran through. Just kept running forwards.
Trời ơi, góc với thấy cái đầu.
Living and breathing by the W Gaming. And it did put Boaster and Crashies in a tough spot that Alpha had to recover. Come on, let's go. A 4-0 lead, and now Kayak has the funds to be able to bring out the op. He is alone, though, on the A site here. Take a look at this guy. Doesn't really have the most support in the world. Crashies is going to come to get his back like he did in B main early. But PRX have the util to push him off.
Wall in your face too, and he hears it. Footsteps around, trying to take that one into the open. Rocket in your face.
Mất một rồi.
He's stuck, isolated, skipping, hopping, trying.
6-1 máu.
If Jing had thrown a nade in there, then surely he would have been dead. But instead, focusing on taking the site.
Chiếm được sai rồi.
He's trying to take it forwards, fast and loose is the play. Wall into the back of the side moments, all being contained in that flank again. Drone close.
Ui giời ơi.
Còn một flank. Còn một flank. Còn một flank.
He's already jumped away. Boaster and Alpha going to be left to do it all. Finally, Alpha reveals his hand. Look at the wrist, the hat goes out. It's going to be good information. Hammered up. Start rebounding.
Ui, spam.
The time is going to start ticking soon enough. PRX instill a bit more discipline. Looking to try and play this one together now. First tap, first target down.
So they drew a pick at dầm không.
So PRX, they do show up and they get that round on the board, a critical one at that.
A little bit of a late awakening here on the stage, but nice to see the PRX have got what it takes when there's ults on the board. Slight mechanical error there for Kayak at the very beginning. Had a shot actually on the Divide. I think he caught it dead to rights, but just got off the angle at the wrong moment. Chose to scope back up, and that cost him his life. And now Kayak's, now Kayak's going to have to play with his Neon ultimate. Already invested pretty heavily economically in the previous round. And now PRX going into the Cypher setup.
Dart tucked around, it's an instant drone and waiting out through mid. Patman looking to contain it. He's missed the timing on it though. These players have already slipped straight past. Kayak.
He's going to hear
some damage. Oh, surely hears it, yes. Tip tap of the footsteps and he buys his time, buys it well. Here's the
Ui.
shuts him down, but up through mid. It's Patman. Straight at the gut, instant res as well. It's going to be undoing that damage.
And a massive gap in mid
here,
friends. Forsaken.
Cứu rút dao tôi. Cứu rút dao tôi.
Dao đẹp.
Fnatic Pro à? Nhìn đấy.
Ma sồn.
Đây rồi, anh cả trách à thôi. Bật ưu tiên lên xong chết. Lâu đấy lách cho. À thôi. Xong tính đẩy đi, mình lướt vào đời nhau kìa. Ơi. Something.
Ôi giời ơi. Tao thì không biết luôn rồi.
PRX got good value out of that res. Divide online early. Able to undo all of the good work that Kayak had done with his tiles push. And again, I just want to stress how much Fnatic are going for these mid pushes and these flanks. They're really trying to abuse. Feels like the biggest part of their anti-strat so far is trying to abuse the fact that PRX do not have that Cypher in their composition. Push down, try to get the flanks going for the A retake. Something that Boaster loves to do when we've seen him call in the past on maps like Haven, for example, against these Sentinel-less comps. But this time just missed that timing on Patman. And I think it can be tough to play against PRX sometimes because they do take unorthodox timings. They're willing to take a bit more risk. And so back-to-back rounds. That shot too, instantly denying the Neon ultimate.
Hai người cầm dao đi về.
Space for the res.
Too easy, guys.
Alpha also had all of his Cypher utility on the A site that round. And once again, he's going to put it all down on B, so not using any of it for top mid information, except for this cam, which is going to be able to see feet as you walk up mid. But if Alpha's not tapping it regularly, then Patman could still find a timing.
A real switch up as well from the game plan of PRX.
No, they're really focused on this A pressure, trying to get big value out of Patman's utility, even if it's not actually Patman who's there taking the space.
Drone, PaperX trying to hide their intent.
Very slow so far on the attack side for PaperX too, isn't it? Really trying to mess with expectations.
Oh, the dart doesn't clear. Kai was sat nice and pretty. Patman none the wiser, thought he caught a timing there. Paranoia is going to be sweeping forward, Star. It's going to be blinding up Alpha. Nade rebounding, we'll have to respect it. Market control, PaperX is for now, and you see now Hunter's furious and there's signs of life. That's from afar, crashes. We're going to supplement it, trying to put a stop to this one, but PaperX, they're denying that momentum they've got. This
Oh my god, not like this.
They barreled through, unconventional pathing there for PaperX. Didn't send anyone through B main, and Fnatic were left wondering. As the wall came down over towards Boba, slicing off the defenders on site. Chronicle didn't know which way to look. Very much an adaptation here for PaperX in terms of how they're approaching this one. The game plan coming from Alex, maybe even coming from Mini too. Remember that former Fnatic head coach is now doing assistant coaching for this squad. But the game plan appears to be slower and more deathball-y. They're not trying to split. They're just trying to stay together and take out Fnatic piece by piece on rounds like this. If they haven't had the success over towards Elbow, then working through Market and up to Boba was wondrous there. This is now 3 rounds in a row for PaperX. Trying out a really unconventional, slow pace to their game. And at any point here, they can turn up the tempo and it's going to catch Fnatic off guard.
That's the thing with PaperX though.
Chúc điện cũng ngon nha. Misumi.
Điện nào?
That's available to them, the slower play, working the map on their attack sides.
And I think they have to. If you play that undisciplined W gaming style, the one where it's not so refined, I think Fnatic eat that up all day long. They're a disciplined team. They love absorbing aggression. That old PaperX style just simply wouldn't work, I don't think. They have beaten them before. It's one-on-one between these two teams, so I'm not saying it can't ever work, but I don't think it was the right idea to go into this game with. But in this tournament, we've seen a better, more thoughtful PaperX. Willing to pump the brakes and play with a little bit of discipline in the mid-round after doing the same fast pressure. They've still got that killer instinct. They're just willing to temper it. And it's now Fnatic who are going to have to take a timeout of their own. The newer coaching staff, who've had so much success with this roster, looking to add their input into things. And I would say now's the time to try to hit something quick. If you're PaperX, if you wanted to change up the tempo at any point in this game, coming out of your opponent's timeout, that's one of the best opportunities for you. It is going to be a bit of a half-buy round for Fnatic. Kayak with a glass cannon guardian, a stinger, and a sheriff around the place. So maybe PaperX will play with patience in this one and turn up the tempo for the next. Early B main, though, is already a little bit different.
Yeah. Spread out. Control, one away from some big ults as well. Jing. Looking forward to that showstopper. Contact play scored for again. It's just poking out. Now spotted here with a snake bite, rebounding. Ricochet and Chronicle looking to try and slow them down. Our bodies behind this one. It's a delayed hit. Jutting smoke. You got to be careful of this one. Alpha inside it, trying to sidestep straight towards it. Something just dismisses him. And Jing already taken up that timing. Slips into the gap and finding his mark. Boaster has to operate at a bit of run and gun. Backside control is still there for Fnatic. Plan down now for PaperX. And PaperX are not stopping. They're not content with just the front. They want the entirety of this map.
Really good adjustment there as well. Alpha, a little unfortunate, does hit the 140 with the Phantom. You see there the aim punch on something. And Alpha moves away thinking that he's already got the kill. His crosshair resetting onto the next target before even confirming that something had hit the deck. And after a 0-4 beginning to this map, it feels like PaperX, the vibes are back.
Yeah.
They've tied up the game, and going into this, Kayak once more picking up the operator, and still a slow beginning actually for PaperX. really not trying to challenge early on. It's been more about contacting. And then the question becomes, who's actually holding the contact for Fnatic? Because often they're playing really passive lines. And here you just see Boaster jiggling and Kayak holding elbow.
Operator in hand, one of the best tools for the job, but seeing signs alive. Jing, that's his cue to go. Sending it, ricocheting against the wall. That's no damage done to Boaster. He's eager to draw that blood. Just trying to wrangle control of the rifle. Kayak's been overwhelmed. PRX crack open the A site. Crack heads while they're at it. Jing, not content with just a few. Device steals them right from his sight line.
A huge round and the defense collapses again from Fnatic. Kayak had to hit that shot. He put himself on such an aggressive angle. A really deep position that you see this Neon dive from in elbow. And if he doesn't hit the shot, then he can't escape. Neon's got great maneuverability, but you've got to get the first in order to avoid getting traded. A Boaster fell shortly afterwards with that scramble in the smoke. Chronicle once more not really able to have too much impact in his 5th grand final appearance. Thus far, PRX have been avoiding him mostly. A couple of times now that we've seen him save, and Divide back up to another res, by the way. So got his second available, and that's just a really nice tool for being able to deal with those early skirmishes if PRX players are packed. I think it'd be fair to call them fan favorites.
Oh, yeah. All smiles here.
That's why I was saying yesterday, I really feel like Fnatic are going to be the villains of this story. They've set themselves up as the barrier between PRX and the trophy that's always one step out of reach. You have to go through a team that's managed to do it back to back. But at the moment, PRX have picked themselves up after a bad start and have been pretty much flawless since then.
The early timeout has worked wonders.
Kayak once more getting into this deep position, willing to take a bit of a gamble here, tucked himself down behind this box in mid. Last time, didn't find too much value from it.
Deep pushes are everywhere on the map. Fnatic. There's Boasters out through A main, down through mid. Getting a good idea now. This is going to be landing over towards B. Chronicle tucked to the corner. He's going to be feeling that heat, takes the peak. Dealing with these players out towards the extremities, but not through bottom mid. Instant res. Forsaken brought back into the fold. Crashes. Just can't control that Guardian in time. Something. Feeling that heat and that stun does good connection. Kayak. Trying to make some moves. Alpha dominates market. This. Putting a bit of fear now into the step of PRX. Forced the plan towards the back of the site.
But playing together, Forsaken and Divine need to come up with a plan here for dealing with things. Suddenly, though, they're split apart, trying to get on either side of the Neon wall. So Kayak may be the target. Feels like PRX need to take the fight into one of these guys on Fnatic.
Ducks right now.
Đợi gì?
Low enough. Shot to the dome though will do him in. Kayak.
Đợi làm gì
Doing
nữa?
a 1v2. Biding his time in
Ý mấy nếu mà mai thích đi ăn với tụi ta đừng đi. Đi tầm trưa ăn xong rồi về hoặc là chiều về. Ý là nếu muốn đi ăn thì nha, còn không đi về đi.
Even when things are looking tricky, they've got a game plan, they've got the right micro calls.
Ủa thế mai có đi nhỉ?
And that honestly was quite passive too from Kayak towards the end. Like to see him get back in that more confident way, although what he was doing in the mid round.
Bé Liễn nó mở ở Hồ Chí Minh thì vui nhờ anh nhỉ?
Alpha wins one hugely important duel against Jing, but couldn't overcome Divide, who's took the scoreboard 10-5.
Similar setup. PRX not changing things up. Do they expect Kayak is going to be tagged? Jing! Just adjust the aim. Crashes. Does trade. But now the heat and the pressure is going to be turned up onto Alpha. He steps forwards. A bit of spam coming his way. That's a Hunter's Fury into the back of the site. Alpha trying to capitalize off this chaos. Moving forward, sidestepping. Crashes! Indomitable from this spot.
Drops Divide, drops the spike, manages to sidestep the Hunter's Fury in the meantime too, but they know where Alpha is, and it's tough to really support him.
Rifle in hand. Trying to
Nhưng Văn Sen nhưng tôi phải công nhận với website ác. Tôi mày thế sample không xem trận xem.
Im mồm đi.
Không có tôi lại trừ một sub rồi. Hôm đấy một có hả?
3v3 and Forsaken with an Omen ult means that this spike isn't really in enemy territory at all.
À, xem trên YouTube. Chứ còn xem cái stream của Bacon thì
What a call. He's calling to go back into the same side.
33.
Trying to fake out the idea he would have
32 dưới. Bắn. Đúng rồi. Một mình không sai. Ui dồi ôi, cover.
Chronicles left in that 1v2.
Một chiêu nè.
This situation though finally winnable for Chronicle, an opportunity for impact.
Looking for an easy fight first. The first Mo spots it out, snake bite. No rebound necessary, but doesn't really connect something. Sits it down, Viper's picked. Thought about committed. Let loose entirely. And the bullets are raining down on him now. Time ticking away. Spraying away. Chronicles hoping, praying. Hoping that PRX will give him absolutely anything.
Trời.
Forsaken knocks him out.
7 rounds in a row for PRX here. Fnatic just making too many mistakes on the defense side. Kayak kind of whiffs a little bit in this opener, doesn't land a single bullet on Jing. And then Boaster chooses the worst time to drop from high ground to low ground. As this smoke dissipates, he's choosing to walk forwards. Not accurate to hold that smoke as it leaves the PRX players in the open. Small errors and a massive comeback in this half from PRX.
Tôi lạ gì cái team này à mọi người? Tôi biết rồi, tôi biết quá rõ rồi.
Forsaken as well, picking up an attack op. He's got the money to just go for a rifle afterwards. Just watching mid. And a little pacier perhaps, going for a B-pop here.
Yeah, Fnatic hard, disrespecting though. Deep push out towards A main, so they've got the information, they know what's up.
Jing, one away from a showstopper, but choosing not really to go heavily prioritizing it. Instead, looking to try to clear the flank. They know this has been happening.
Drifted in and out, it's Batman who falls. Something is next. Fnatic, full control towards it. There's a paranoia in your faces and they're going to be disengaging.
Best opportunity for Fnatic to snag around since the first 4.
Leaving PRX to
Vì con Phantom vẫn là một cái gì đấy.
And PRX thought it was a mid push, realized it wasn't, so now they're exploring mid themselves.
In the shoulder, Forsaken, that is a ballsy TP. A wide off angle played.
Could be on Kayak here. Could be on Kayak over towards A. You see Jing is making his way towards it, but all 3 players on PRX trying to make their own individual timing play.
Forsaken is caught one.
Ủa hay thế.
Crashes, topples. The caught access towards it, but still, it's B main control for Fnatic. It should be in a good spot for it. Site needs to be cleared out here. In through the back of the site, it's going to be that plant.
10 seconds left.
Watchful eye onto a lot of it as the curtain drops. So does Alpha. Rocket to your feet, you cannot stop this team. When PRX get going, there's no denying them a Kayak. We'll try everything, but 8-4 is where we leave it.
The train took a little while to get going here on Sunset, but then it did just pull out through Fnatic.
Pha smoke này vừa hết animation.
That they turn around with a brilliant lurk play. Again, a great idea of what to do, a great call on it, found the perfect timing. Forsaken looks amazing here. He's even overtaken Divine.
Unreal scenes so far.
Tiếc cái gì? Messi tiếc cái gì? Tiếc không đặt tâm trúng vào Frick chẳng hạn.
Is standing by.
I am delighted to be joined by the Riot CEO, Dylan Jadeja here. Now, Toronto has been such a fantastic host city. Welcome back, by the way. Wanted to ask you, how are you finding the event, and also, what have you been up to?
I gotta tell you, this is such an incredible city. It's home for me. I grew up in Brampton, so it's really special. Yeah, that's right. It's really special to walk the streets of Toronto and see people wearing the Val logo and to be a part of this community. You guys bring such incredible energy to this event. It means so much to us. This is one of the greatest cities in the world. And so to have the opportunity to showcase this to all of our players around the world, that's great. I also would be remiss if I didn't take a second to say thank you to all the players here, to all the players who are watching this online, to the co-streamers and the influencers. You guys make it possible for us to bring this event to our players. So I just want to say thank you to everyone. I got the chance yesterday, by the way, to go back to Brampton. The food is the best in Canada, I just gotta say, so.
I completely agree. Now, it's made it even more special by the fact Valorant just celebrated its 5th birthday. I remember being there when the game came out, so I wanted to ask you if you could maybe reflect and tell us what it was like on, on launch day.
Yeah, it was crazy. We launched Valorant in the middle of the pandemic with no real perspective on how well it would be loved by players. We knew we had built something that would serve the needs of an audience that cared deeply about a tac shooter. And we thought we had nailed that, but when you launch it in the pandemic, you never know how it's gonna play out. And then we didn't know how we were gonna serve the game. We were working from home. So we shipped this from people's living rooms. And it wouldn't be where it is if it wasn't for this community. It's been inspiring and humbling to have this be co-created by such passionate players. So we're very, very fortunate and very blessed to have this community build this game with us.
Thank you so much. And also, PRX might lift their first trophy in 5 years as well. So let's jump back in the game and see if they can close this out.
We're going to see how this first map all shakes out. Time's already ticking. These players are eager to get back into the fight between each other. Fnatic and PRX.
What an end to that half, though, for PRX. I mean, if there was any team with momentum here, it would be them. Take a look at the Coinbase Econ report and see if you can pick out a player for PRX that would be looking to try to invest heavily in the defense half. This is not a map that you expect them to be going too much towards the operator. You know, they eliminated Ascent, for example, which is where something's going to be going heavy with that. But here, it's more to do with them playing as a pack, playing as a death ball. And I think Jing and Devi have been great at being able to set up those tip of the spear moments with Forsaken either coming in behind or setting up lurks. And they've just all had phenomenal impact so far. Really feels like they've settled into the rhythm of this map.
Yeah. I was worried at the beginning,
Làm
Josh.
cái 13-4 đi chứ hả?
Yeah, I mean, I think, listen, they're a great team. They've got deep in a lot of tournaments, but winning has eluded them. And you gotta hope that they don't choke another, I think.
Yeah.
At the moment, though, set up in a great position.
Vãi nồi 48 luôn mà. Trời ơi.
Hay quá.
A lot of running around occurring. PRX are stacking A towards 4 players. Early setup.
Thằng này giờ không ai kéo chúa xuống vậy.
Forward's Chronicle has to be the player to receive. It's an
Và ui. Hay luôn.
Dữ dằn chưa.
Something's going to try to recover this one. Actually might have caught a timing. Back around the backs, but scurried away. Chronicle and Alpha live to fight another day. Alpha is going re-exploring.
Cái điện mày cần thôi chú ơi.
Stretch of imagination, something down to 10 health as a result of it.
Không biết nữa.
All needs to be broken now, clearing the way. That doesn't clear most of it though. It's possible scenario. Fnatic a pistol round in their sights.
Mới làm tên đau tim quá.
Tripled up, in through the back of the site.
Đi đằng sau phụ, đi đằng sau.
Is theirs from Kron. Looking into the fray, Patman is the last one left now to stand against this. What can he really do, the rookie?
No.
Not a lot. Revealed up. It's a classic right click, simple enough.
So both pistols in this map going the way of Fnatic. But really very few rifle rounds. I mean, one, if you could even call the bonus round that in the first half. Going the way of the EMEA team. So we'll see if that trend continues. Fnatic got a great start out, and they just couldn't convert any further. But PRX, that same gap that Fnatic were trying to exploit in the first half by sending flanks, pushing mid, that gap does still exist here on their defense side, that lack of information. For example, in this round, how open market is.
Deep control, PRX just disrespected him really. Flush a nade, trying to earn up some ults.
The slower that Fnatic play, the more that PRX are going to be worried about those gaps. And it means that PRX themselves have to be pretty proactive in the defense. If you play against PRX and you just hit sites over and over, you make their job very easy here. Because they don't have to worry about the lurk, they can just play for the retake. But when you play slow, the way that Boaster calls, there's going to be worries in the back of Forsaken's mind. And they'll have to take timings like this to re-clear mid and then spread back out.
Ôi bỏ xa luôn à.
Nhìn mà học xu à, có những lúc em phải bỏ sai á, chứ không có phải là mẹ cứ đâm đầu ở mẹ trong trọng đâu á. Ý là bảo là có những lúc nó phải bỏ ấy, nhưng mà xu hay đứng ở những cái góc mà không chạy ra được khỏi sai.
They love playing quickly. As you put the spike down, they're going to be running back into sight, trying to deny you. Very coordinated with their utility as well, but fast-paced. So far in this tournament, holding this A, bro. We are defending now again. Yeah, they're not even going to have the chance to get into post plants very often and play these really calm, controlled post plant setups. It's going to be frantic. They're going to feel like defenders, just as Kron said.
Fnatic are getting a glimpse into mid. Jump spots. Info gathered.
Looking to diligently clear these corners. Waiting to see if any of the PRX players have tried to take a tricky aggro timing.
Ma con cún thấy anh đang uống trà sữa và bú, xong anh cất cái cốc đi rồi nó đang tìm.
A devised wall is really good at blocking these gaps.
Đu flip. Bia hôm nào đi ăn bia. Nào đi ăn đây.
The defenders can back out of A and go to cover a different gap. But they're waiting here, expecting Boaster to be a good enough caller to want to break this wall.
Poking, prodding, just trying to bring it down. It's going to be fading at a moment's notice, and while that was occurring, something was the only player holding top mid. He's gone. Kai takes him out. Forsaken responds. Paranoia is going to be sweeping forwards as well, putting a bit of pause into the step of Fnatic. Slow as they go.
Vào đi, hay quá.
Ôi giời ơi.
Spike cứ down, vào đi. Ôi sấy. Ôi hay quá. One enemy defending. Hốt cái bonus round nữa.
Vai đạn.
Hút vội.
And Forsaken does such a great job holding market, forcing Fnatic to pay for every inch they take in blood. Even though something falls, Forsaken is not willing to give this up. Even with a drone in his face, he chooses to challenge, to fight.
One enemy remaining.
And then catches even a timing on crashes.
Don't mess with me, bro. Don't mess with me, okay?
Gãy đi, đúng rồi, gãy đi anh Cường ơi.
Phải nói bên PRX toàn dùng tâm 1322.
Thì họ bắn phân tầm nhiều mà, họ lại dùng tầm
Rồi mất cái tham minh nữa kìa anh Cường. Anh Cường lên hơi cao rồi.
That's a fumble.
Dart to clear this way. Wall's going to be propped up. We can expect it to still be slow and steady by Fnatic.
And this time PRX do what I was talking about, where they
ôi Booster ơi.
the other side of the map, getting Pac-Man in a pretty deep inserted position in B.
It's looking like a B split. Boaster has that been making
Và đó là anh có rất Cường. Ôi dồi ôi. 1, 2 rồi. 3 rồi. Từ từ nhá. 1 với 2 chill. Ủa, Pac-Man sao đẩy vội thế?
You love to see plays like that from PRX, leaning on some of the classic odd timings of aggression. But Fnatic dealt with it. Maybe this is the kind of pace that they're more comfortable playing against. They were very ready for that peak from something. It's super similar to what Forsaken went for in the previous round, trying to timing the drone. And then as much as Jing got value from that peak, Fnatic come out on top. Another good start to a half. But that didn't stop PRX from coming back and getting 8 in a row.
Thể vẫn giải không có ai bắn Reyna luôn đấy.
Ít lắm, nó phải hô cơ.
bị hack quỷ nó cũng giải vậy.
Tê Châu thì có đúng một lần duy nhất được xài thôi á.
Rina là cốt siêu ít luôn.
Trước khi bị nít thì nó xài nhiều mà. Thì nặng quá.
Bắn Viper Omen rồi Ray Sova Cypher.
Cốt chỉ dành cho rank thôi. Và bạn không vào ấy được không?
Bạn tạo ra con FOB thực cú rồi xong rồi nít.
Ôi không trúng ai luôn mà.
It's going to be dissipating now. Deep drone has tried to reclear some of that info, but it's called for Fnatic. We're going to go over towards B. Forsaken and Patman. The only defenders, the only players to try and put a stop to it. Kayak. It's going to be offloading that ultimate now. Overdrive in hand. Trying to put a stop to Patman, and there's only so much you can do. There's a neon AD in your face. Inevitable at this point here. Trying to go for the trade out. Alpha's there.
8-9 rồi.
And Alpha, yeah, is the hero of the round. Takes a pretty large risk in stepping forwards to the showstopper, but catches a nice timing onto Jing. Catches him in the side, utilizes his ultimate, and they realize there is a huge gap in the defense all the way up mid into Market and Boba. And they catch these players on the B side, separating them entirely from those defenders that would love to rotate and support. Here's the timeout once again, called by Coach Alex. This was what made all the difference before. Alex had some input, and they ran the next 8 rounds in a row on their attack side, PRX. What's the adjustment here? I think it is very tough to play against Fnatic's slow-paced style. When you don't have a Sentinel in your composition, you can't just sit back. You've got to meet that caution with some aggression of your own. To some degree, I think PRX today need to be playing fast and cocky, yeah, but they also need to be playing smart. They need these adjustments coming through from Alex to be able to tell them the right times to go aggro, the right ways in which to play the retake.
We can see from the money situation, Divide opting into the operator, might still stick towards it. Change his mind, but maybe a central piece to try and hold together this defense.
And I think the interesting component of that too is he's the Sage, and the wall is also an essential component of their mid-rounding defense and their info game. So is he going to play for the wall early and then in the mid-round get posted up with the op, or does he try to take early angles and ignore the fact that his wall could be finding them good value in the mid?
Wall in his face for now. We find towards the top. Sakam taken out and a double fade.
Ui.
Oh my, obliterated.
Nó vừa bít bắn luôn mà xuyên góc luôn.
One of your most important players hits the deck so early.
PRX are left wandering out into the open, but Alpha. Good pick. Best that they could potentially find.
He might have even seen 2 on the minimap there as he died, because it looked like something and Patman were doubled up.
PRX have brought it even, 4 versus 4 now, and another 3-2-1 into the space! Kayak! That's disgusting work!
Hello,
beautiful. The neon movement as well, to just glide away from the trade. He's sharp, confident, and starting this hit into the B site. PRX, I mean, they don't even have the tools, the funds here to contest, frankly.
They've scrambled away. Might look to try and save some of the guns. Operator perhaps, but they're drifting in like they want to try and take a chunk out of Fnatic.
They've got 4 players that aren't going to be able to buy in the next round.
Unwise.
No, that's it.
I think they've realized it.
One of the players could go for something. If they found a lurk, if they found a pick. But Patman, he picks up the operator and they just play for it into the next round. 2 opportunities for PRX to be trying to find an early pick through mid. One with the op and one with the double face, and both dismantled. Really sharp shooting here from Fnatic.
Bring it level with that one. 9-9 for Fnatic. That experience, that grit. Talk about drawing in though. Look at the net.
Ui, tạm mình kìa.
Tạm mình.
They gotta save them. Forsaken. Steadily being overwhelmed at this point. Like this Gaps are gonna try and run him down to the final.
Một nằm súng luôn mà.
No saving.
Không xếp được luôn chứ.
Consolation prizes and yeah, no money like you said, Josh. This is now a dire circumstance.
God, what a shot.
That's beautiful.
Barely sees a glimmer.
Ui, má flick ảo luôn á.
Afterwards is spectacular as well. Something doesn't get much of a chance there.
I helped you, bro.
Standing ahead. PRX are willing to take the risks on rounds like this, and it's Forsaken who goes straight down with the
already the deep TP.
Ôi lỗi.
But he's surrounded potentially there, and it's just offset immediately. Patman going down. Clears up a series of unknowns for the next. Slowly get what's going on.
They Viper walled for mid, so the Forsaken could push, but that meant that Patman didn't have his own Viper wall in the lane that he's been playing around.
Forsaken still stands up. But okay, can't avoid that one. Kayak is sharp right now.
Fnatic are doing a great job of dealing with all of this defensive pressure, and like I've been saying over and over again, PRX have to do this. It might look like PRX are just kind of walking into their demise, but their composition relies on them getting active on defense. They can't just sit back. And Fnatic are not giving them an easy game here. They are not hitting sites and execing until the very final moments. And by that point, PRX have already given them a pick.
Applying that even pressure across the board. Something re-exploring. It's a head ripped off, but immediately again the answer back's there. Market is open and accessed here for Fnatic. Something's being squeezed.
You know where both of these players are though. Boaster's just calling with a full rotate over towards A. Something got a kill. Divide threw out a slow orb. Divide even getting picked over towards Boba.
Drone số ra nhớ tưởng Neon cao được.
It's a 4v1.
Mới biết luôn á.
10 seconds left.
No real opportunity here for something. Maybe feeling like he has to do it all.
Spike planted.
Spike planted on A. This is a dire circumstance for PRX.
Forsaken only has 800 credits too, so this is just a slam dunk save.
Lại bỏ góc sang mình.
Entirely on the wrong side of the map with no information, and I don't think he's going to keep a weapon. Alpha spins 90 degrees, decapitates something. Fnatic take the lead back. It's been a while since we were able to say that.
Bringing a lot of rounds that PRX earned in that first half. Offset now, Fnatic. There is no denying that resilience. They've showed it all tournament long.
Enemy remaining.
There's only a few teams in a history of VCT that have completed a lower bracket run. They would love to add their name to that list.
One of those legendary lower bracket runs, FPX at Masters Copenhagen denying PRX the trophy when PRX came through that upper bracket. The first time that PRX ever had a chance at a trophy. Another slow beginning from Fnatic, never allowing PRX an easy round.
Lúc công mình chơi fast pace bây giờ just
cautious tail that they're weaving across the map.
A drone up over the top, trying to get a little bit of information, but doesn't see Alpha yet, tucked behind the pillar. And they might want to go for that same 3-2-1 mid re-clear. Even Divide coming to try to help it out.
Come towards it, broken up towards the top. There's fights to be taken, but battle lines redrawn and lurking up onto the angle. Patman deletes Boaster.
That's
start for PRX, and they put the wall up as well to reinforce towards Market. Watch the lie up.
Ủa chăm mình phán thật.
My God, that's instinctual.
Beautiful timing, but Device there with the res.
Hunter's Fury though to try and punish, and this is getting hot and heavy. Brought all the way towards them. There's no tags from Crashies, no clearance. Forsaken ducked right underneath. There's that orbs propped up. It's a full spam committal to the cliff. Already the timing forwards, that near sight just catches onto Kayak. Won't deny him that kill though. He's having to put Forsaken in his place without taking control of the site. In the blink of an eye, there's only 15 seconds left. Slow orb. Stun rattling the nade, ricocheting, Kayak, being chipped down, and PRX. They do drag it level.
So tough for Fnatic to be able to get this fight down in that situation. Not only was the time against them, but something still had the Hunter's Fury in the back pocket too. Booster going for the fake.
Chúa nó mà gỡ cơ thế thì phải ăn khóc tiếng máng.
Mechanical error. Seen a couple of them today from a few players. I think that showcases The nerves that can hit even the most experienced people when it comes to the grand finals. The game level though, and PRX with a really critical one to win in that prior. They still have massive ultimates that if they can run the time down are going to be super important. That shock dart is supposed to break a trip. And the lineup just off.
Rattling. Handshake with the bullets. Forsaken. Forced to respect it when the Viper orbs up. Drop down with a double face through the box. No damage done.
Forsaken though is always going to be re-challenging. He's super aggressive.
Hay.
Trying to take that fight, and he has. Put the rookie
Chỉ
in
có
his
cương
place.
trùng được thì thôi.
There's no more. Chronicle going for a little bit more. Again, these smokes causing issues.
Forsaken just cannot be dug out of these spots. He was doing the same thing over towards Market to win PRX around previously. Look how much Fnatic are struggling to be able to even get information over here. They're droning in towards B, trying to pull defensive rotates. Boaster might be the playmaker up mid. Yeah. But Forsaken is here again.
Moved in, drops down though. Whiffy! It is Whiffy. No control over the rifle in that spot. Something puts a stop to it in a 3v5 scenario. Fnatic still looking to see if they can test towards that A side. Jing propped up. Missed the timing onto the cross. Barely alive there. Shredded back and forth with the bullets. Fnatic have access towards it, but Hunter's Fury is let loose to try and deny the plans. He's giving them hot feet. Crashes up for mid. But there's the connection they were looking for. And PRX take back control of the momentum of this map.
Round này yếu tiền thì cút mẹ rồi.
Two crucially important rounds here towards the tail end, where it looked like Fnatic had properly pulled their way back in. And I think so much of it is down to Forsaken. The space on the map that Fnatic want to try to take.
Ui, xuyên à.
Confirm số 3 nó phải thế này. Thằng kia. Các bạn biết vậy.
They wouldn't be willing to take this level of risk. Forsaken is, and he's constantly re-challenging, trying to get back on the angle, playing on the very edge of the risk that he can take, but not getting punished for it. And he's just making all of this map control feel impossible for Boaster's calling. That's why Boaster had to make that play up mid in the prior. Once again, it is only Forsaken defending this spot over towards A. And yet they'll have a hard task going through.
Mấy cái cửa sổ trong Việt Nam vãi.
He's not keen to give it up.
They do have a camera that they can pop that should be able to get a tag and push him off potentially.
Scanning ahead. Utah's going to be sent flying forwards though.
Gọi đái.
Ui, quả cung này hay nè.
Ui. Hay.
Oh no, that's not good.
Rotate đi còn gì nữa.
Boaster yếu rồi.
Making moves over towards the opposite side.
They've got enough time. You can see PRX doing a re-clear at the moment, and that has informed this rotate for Forsaken. He gets down in the anchor spot again. He is everywhere. He is everything. And Fnatic look like they've given up on this one.
Yeah.
I mean, is Boaster waiting to maybe teleport in if Crashies had managed to open up the site? This just looks like a pure save.
No time left.
Đẩy lên something, đẩy lên.
And PRX.
Look at the
Đẩy.
that Forsaken had here.
Hai người luôn.
Mình lúc vào đời nhau. Đi về.
They had to use a cam.
Ui, tam mình kìa.
Rồi cái lưng lộ. Cái lưng lộ.
The neon ultimate as well to push him back. And all that happened was he teleported back and played inside of his own smoke. Used a paranoia, got 2 kills and then teleported to the other side. And made them save through sheer aura.
Sẽ cường pick ra liền luôn kìa. Pick up train liền luôn mà.
Is phenomenal from this guy so far.
Insane confidence.
Là bài của cái này.
Sướng.
Perhaps Fnatic are the villains to PRX's protagonist anime arc, and yet with that chuckle, maybe Batman's the villain in disguise.
Little Joker, take your pick.
Forsaken, though, has just been storming up the scoreboard in these last few rounds. Kayak and Alpha, yeah, were doing huge work for Fnatic on that run in the third quarter. And now that we're getting towards the end of the game, PRX up towards map point. It really has felt like the final boss is Forsaken to get through. This player that plays everything for PRX. The glue guy, the leader, stepped up as a caller. The evolution of Forsaken has been remarkable to watch. When they were first stepping onto the global scene and contesting for trophies, he was a bit of a W gaming duelist player. Kind of crazy, chaotic. Won them rounds for sure, but also lost them quite a few. And now he is pretty rock solid. It's difficult to watch him put a foot wrong.
One round away from that first stepping stone the PRX are looking for. Deep hold again. This is aggression though by Fnatic. Hold up. Bit of spam to the box. And instantly calling for the retreat.
Looking to try to put the pressure on early. Maybe anticipating that that's where Forsaken was going to be playing. And the cam up above the pit. Not going to spot Patman.
Gaming is timing something. He's going to be handed that surely. A fight to be taken. A lot of damage under crashes. The stun ricochets perfectly in place. And Divide topples. Somebody trying to fill up those gaps though. Straight from behind. Spike drop down. Smoke up. Archives ahead of it. It's all down to something in that 1v2.
He knows the Boaster's going to play for the ultimate. He knows that he doesn't need to defend the spike. And so something's now found a much earlier timing into market.
Ahead of it now. Here's the plan. This is the best timing for it. He can isolate a fight. 1v1 Alpha! Safe pair of hands.
He saves Fnatic. That could have been an unreal play from something. He's been struggling to hold on to these gaps in the map. He's got a really difficult job trying to hold on to mid. And here Divide gets overwhelmed by his stun. And something caught up. Has to turn, pivot in a moment and catch his Chronicle. Almost made
11-12 không biết sẽ có OT không nhờ.
But still Fnatic with that grip pushes to the final round of regulation. Can they give overtime in map 1?
So paranoia forwards already. PRX. Very fast play indeed.
Ui, 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 ui. Vãi cái lồn.
Ui, quá tường.
Vãi lồn.
Tường Grim rồi.
Ui. Rồi, từ từ nhá, 4v2 này.
No more funny business. PRX. They want this first stepping stone and they want it.
Ai nào quá tường, bất ngờ ghê luôn á.
Leaves Chronicle and crashes in a tough 2v4. Boxed in on site. PRX this first map feels just an inch away.
Hãy xem TikTok.
Viper's pit offloaded. A blight onto the side that's given them that safety net. Fnatic trying to play through.
Sure.
1-0.
Chưa kịp éo thời nữa.
Alpha left wondering what the hell happened and where he was being shot from. That map was favored to PRX, but they ended it with style.
Big step in the way. GB and the analyst, that's of course breaking it all down. You don't want to go.
Đi ngủ này.
Bye bye chúa.
Bye bye chúa.
Bye chúa. Mai tao vô tao chích tiền với kênh.
No.
Bất trước với đập cầm sẵn luôn, bây giờ em điện làm đập lên sắp lên 5 này. Chắn cho nó.
Thì mày tại sao có phải cắt cái đoạn hết này? Cột tẹt à? Lâu quá.
You might have heard I'm going through a little upgrade with my tats. So when Verizon announced that everyone gets a free phone on any plan, pain-free, count me in. Try and beat it. I'll give you a sec.
Let me show you how the fox does. Oh man, I was just getting warmed up.
Spike defused.
Esports is a $2 billion industry now, but it all started in dingy basements and cramped living rooms.
From how the pros train to how the money flows, this G2 and MasterCard series breaks it all down. 12 episodes, packed with insight and lessons for anyone looking to understand the world of competitive gaming. Ready to learn the game behind the game?
Stay tuned for what's next.
You won't want to miss it.
Ba phút.
Anh cá giác rồi, anh bắn chiếc lửa. Cứ bắn ulti là chết à? Thề. Cứ bắn ulti là chết. Ủa, tao đấy. Cứ bắn ulti là chết.
Cái từ này anh hỏi mai em muốn được quật dây điện đâu?
Khó vậy. Bắn ray sổ cái chạy nôn. Bắn ray gì gặp Trinh thì sao mình PRX 32 30.
Don't fancy rainbow. Ồ vãi nào Rainbow sẽ xây thành game free luôn mà. Free asset à. Lúc trước nó tính phí luôn á. Giờ nó free luôn rồi. Tải về chơi thôi.
Sắp đi không chịu, what the fuck, so sắp đi không chơi được. You guys know well. Let me PRX something in Diamond Lobby. Bro doing side quests. Chú bị cho những cái đúng.
What a way to kick off this grand finals. I'm now joined by PRX's head coach, Alex. That last round has got to be one of the most outrageous things we've ever seen on a stage. Was that you during the timer? Was that Divide, JJ? Where did that come from?
It's definitely not me. We had it in our bag a long time, but we were running out of timeouts already. It was, I think, Ting. I think it's his favorite move. So haven't shown it. Finally, it's out.
I can't wait to see more of that. Good luck.
And we loved it. What a way to wrap up that first map. And he ended up getting PRX winning, and that almost went to overtime. Fnatic made that sunset quite challenging, but that, of course, brings us to our HyperX Reflex moment of the day, because it's got to go to Forsaken.
And he's giving the credit to Jing for bringing that game back, but I think you have to give a lot of it to Forsaken, this guy who's stepped up much more as a leader coming into this event on this entire run. And despite him saying that, hey, I'm IGLing now, I'm not shooting as well as I used to, he's still putting up numbers in the server. This round was incredible, and his impact in that second half, too, was just out of this world.
Forsaken is just defined by the impact. You might look at the statistics, and like you said, maybe it's not as much as the golden days, but now the kills he gets are so important. Like a 3v5, I thought it was over, but you can never count PRX out.
That's right, and also, Mel's on the desk, everyone. Give it up for Mel! She's here
Ồ,
with us
Mel này.
to talk about the game for a little while, but yeah, let's continue this conversation here, because it really did, Mel, feel like Fnatic at the start of that game were in the driver's seat. 4 rounds straight, you get the timeout, and then from there you started to see PRX gain that.
Vài chữ.
And that's so tough for anchor players to deal with when you're trying to fight into main, and then 3 players are splitting through mid, isolating you there, and then the rest of the team is going to be completely cut off by that wall, and they were so successful with those rounds on attack.
Yeah, being an anchor, you already have to hold several choke points, and you add that third when the other team is abusing mid control. And I want to say at the bottom there it said off guard, and the thing is, we talk about their attack, it is so off guard and surprising, but on defense we saw the craziest combination of util to get, I think was it Jing up on that sage wall at the end through the window.
So
I have
cool.
never seen that.
Yeah, that was cool. And like Alex said, it's out there now. Everyone's seeing it now. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump over to the coach of Fnatic to get his thoughts as we get ready for map 2.
Gotta keep an eye on him, you know, see what he's doing. They're always in your face. They love to get in your face, get aggressive, and I think if we take it easy, allow them, like, absorb their aggressive,ness, we'll be fine.
Well, I hope that game plan works out. Thank you very much.
All right, well, there you
Ice
see
ball.
map 2 coming up next. It's going to be Icebox here, picked by Fnatic, and this is one of those maps, Mel, where it is statistically looking good for the boys in black and orange. Can they pull through, though, is the question.
It is Fnatic's map pick first in this series, so and it has been really dominant for them. They've had great wins on it where the other team barely even accrues like 4 or 5 rounds. So and they just run like super standard comp, and they play the map in a way that really sets up their play styles well on the team. They have Alfir on the lurk, notably with an outlaw. They have a great jet player in Kayak who really popped off the last time we saw him.
This map is going to highlight the difference between how these two teams want to play defense. PRX is a team that loves playing flood retake, heavy fighting on
Ôi,
the site,
Ginger
put
Smoker.
tons of utility
Phải.
into their anchors. Whereas
Xbox.
Fnatic, when they're playing the Sage comp, you're almost always going to see them back up, play these
Davai
retakes
kêu
to the
choi
wall.
something
They're
chết
super high
for second
successful.
Sova.
So I think a lot of this game is going to come down to PRX in their post plays, how much space they can take to deny those strong Fnatic retakes.
And when you say that, I mean, obviously, are we going to see something taking those aggro fights? But notably, Jing on the Omen, the difference between these two comps is the Sage passivity and the Omen aggression. And I'm going to be looking at Jing, seeing where he's playing in those post lines and what fights he's taking.
How does that Omen really shift the game, right? Because the smokes are very different than just a solo Viper comp.
It really opens up everyone to take fights, because when you have that second controller, now the Viper's like, okay, they don't really need my wall for the post line too much, because if I go down, then the Omen can smoke. And that works both ways, right? If the Omen goes down, the Viper can play the wall. So it opens up actually everyone to make all these aggressive fights, which is just so good for the PRX style.
And it's also Jing playing it, so you know he's going to be a guy who's going for those individual plays as well. It gives some of that kind of...
Can come back into this one and tie the series 1-1. Back over to you, Brennan Sideshow.
We're about to find out here on Icebox. It's territory here for Fnatic. You can think about it in a certain sense like that. It is a best of 5, and the double map ban advantage is on the side of PRX, but They're not done yet. They've shown that resilience, that grit. They've dug deep this entire event to make it here to this point right now.
They've always been one loss away from elimination. I think this, though, this map does feel like a bit of a must-win for Fnatic. The one after this, Pearl, which is Fnatic's permaban, is where PRX are taking us, so...
Vãi nồi, cái trang tuyết bị làm gì nhờ?
Be expecting PRX to be contesting space. Think about the way that they made it difficult for Fnatic to get room on their attack side. I mean, this, for example, a triple face, super committed from Paper.
Ui rồi ôi, 3 người pit luôn mà.
Trời ơi, Icebox là cái map mà.
Maybe just to find Alpha, yeah, taking a timing. He's normally going to be the solo player on A if the rest of the team is working B. But Fnatic are just trying to figure out which part of the map PRX are playing for. Where are they fighting? And this is a silent way of fighting.
Yeah.
Here.
Slow siege. Tripled up.
Here they come.
That someone springs this trap and they have.
Ui trời ơi, chỉ có đàn nhà đầu tiên luôn rồi đấy.
And immediately this PRX triple face evaporates, dissolves, leaving only Forsaken and Jing. And even Jing actually leaving the A site entirely, ready for the reaction of Fnatic into B.
God, that spike, and they're just seeing it as well. Crashies is trying to take that timing forwards. Divide shuts it down before it gets a little bit messy here. Site control still a little bit all over the place. And there's a timing here. Booster!
Ôi giời ơi, booster bắn chớ.
Can't get it in order. PRX are walking all over them right now.
Quá dễ dàng luôn, một round thắng đầu tiên cho PRX.
They didn't need either of them on Sunset. It was a tight one, but they managed to get it over the line. This idea works perfectly against the way the Fnatic are going to be taking these slow-paced fights. You set up to punish people as they're contacting in.
No more.
The Fnatic coach is not too happy with how that one's gone, but know that things are still winnable even without a pistol. And Fnatic start out in a pretty similar way. Forsaken grabs the ult orb over towards A. There's a smoke up on Belt that stops you from being able to contest this angle early. And on B, Batman trying to hold a pretty aggressive position and punish you if you try to take A for free.
And they go wandering.
Ui.
Ui.
Gì đấy?
Ba lồn vai làm gì?
Vai. Hai đầu luôn mà.
Độ cao lắm rồi. That's ridiculous. Halfway up almost to getting his lockdown online. What a shot the first one. Barely see anything of Boaster's head. And another demonstration that PRX are going to take fights. Plenty of players in that spot would see many people in mid and just back up. Allow the turret to be broken and worry about kitchen instead. No, PRX are going to contest that space and force you to earn it. Something with an op online in round 3. Something walking up with the op in round 3.
Want to be held here off angle. Could be shots rattled, and yeah, one to the dome. Something is the one dropped in his place. Boaster calling for a pause on the rest of the troops. No more exploration.
It's a massively important kill, but Boaster's got to know that there's another player behind that.
Deploying drone.
Drone being used by Fnatic. Clears out a lot of the site. Jing, though, is laying in wait. Time to strike might be nigh. There's a wall up onto the one side of it. Slow up, rattled. Walls up, though. Time to fight!
Ui.
Just trying to tip-tap. Guardian in hand.
Chỉ bắn chớ.
Wall's going to be dropping down. Open access to these fights. Divide. He's still here, still kicking. The snake bite not connecting. Forsaken.
Ui, chill.
Best he can, but as Util used to clear him out of space. Fnatic. Slowly to glacial pace. Patman trying to stop this one in his tracks, though. Snake bite.
30 seconds left.
Ricocheting forces an uncomfortable planting spot. It's a 2v2 still. PRX access towards it, drifting in. Kayak! Goddamn single digits. Him and Patman
Úi dồi ôi, phải cả lột. Con mẹ.
Ui, 5
Ui,
rất lũ 5 máu luôn mà.
đi không phải 5 máu 5 viên đạn.
Bày lắm rồi.
Điên này, điên này.
Thì mẹ đây là Prime. Chúng tôi cứ ngỡ thời kỳ kia là thời kỳ Prime, không đây mới là Prime. Bắn thế thì chịu.
We're in control, but the more that they went
Trời ơi.
forward to try to get the plant down, the more they open up opportunities. Boaster, he opens, but couldn't close. Alex is happy about that one. The more...
It's broken early. Crashies was just looking to clear that space. They know that something has been taking liberties.
I think it was a shock dart there as well that did a pretty large chunk of damage.
Oh yeah, cancelled it.
Alpha's going to try to work his way up to you, but it's difficult. Device got his full setup here.
Paranoia trying to refight this one, a crunching Fnatic. Forsaken. Pushing them back and away. PRX are not content with just scraps. They want to go even further forwards again. Damage. Kayak.
I got the spike.
Might have just brought this one back from the brink. His weapons abound, but 8 HP to do it all. And Defy, not eager to lose that chance.
Another spot where Kayak probably isn't anticipating Device swinging. Most people are going to play a 2v1, a lot more cautious than that. But PRX are finding the right timings today to put pressure on Fnatic in unexpected ways. These are the risks, the gambles that PRX have taken and honestly have in some previous tournaments been punished for. But this time, today, it is really working. Fnatic's coach is already deciding to take a tactical timeout. We are seeing these really early on in the pressure hitting early on.
Anything to stop that momentum that PRX have. Stop it in its tracks, but it's hard to do against a freight train going at Mach 10 speeds. That's what PRX are playing like. Lights out, determined to be the ones to lift that trophy.
The only team to really put a halt on it was Gen G way earlier on. And honestly, since then, the train has just been accelerating all the way through that upper bracket. It's And what's frustrating in this tournament, I would imagine, is that it's at quite different timings compared to usual. Here's an adjustment. Snake bite.
Ooh.
And a shot and a half there to delete Jing.
Snaps up. Jing is gone.
So they've denied Forsaken getting that Hunter's Fury online and found themselves in a 5v4. Couldn't ask for a better beginning for Fnatic.
Push, that's a cheeky one, Patman. I don't want to overstay yourself though. Drones forward, something's going for another bite of the apple! It's a risk.
Ui, sao mình
Preem in the wrong spot here. Just
Bạn ơi.
There's going to be a quick plant now.
Yeah, that's huge. Fnatic were anticipating that PRX would be denying the res, and so B would be more open. Instead, Devi was holding it and got deleted. Still a player advantage for Fnatic in the post plant.
An ADS stop, Alpha yet, top form. Really trying to drag that first round on the board here for Fnatic. Brute force and mechanics. Exactly what they ordered. Forsaken's still going to be making a go at this one though. Alongside Patman, time no ticking. Spike, it's getting out of hands.
Ôi giời.
The advantage, Alpha yeah! Smelling blood in the...
The Fnatic have been playing, honestly, not just at this tournament, but at the end of stage 1-2, where he just took over. In my opinion, probably front runner for MVP at this point, Alpha, yeah, but competing alongside Jing, maybe even Forsaken for that kind of title. They'll need him though. PRX still up 4-1.
Few ults online, Fnatic. Another bit of util, gotta respect that.
Yeah, that constant conditioning of taking the ult orb early is just forcing some level of utility to be used for Fnatic. This round, they decide not to use the snake bite, but have to use a slow orb instead.
Patman, here's a drone. Side steps out a bit, looking to take a timing rather than breaking it.
Yeah, he wants to play this aggressive. Again, think about the way that Forsaken, for example, was playing on Sunset. You want to force Fnatic to earn every inch.
All up, all down. Boaster sees an advantage and a spot to try and play in, but the first shot just missed. On either side here, smoke up in your face. And PRX re-exploring.
A completely empty here, Brent. PRX have got the right read to play it for retake.
Down through mid as a dash active. Kayak wants to try and go with it. Updraft over towards it. Alpha, my God, tapping away. And snap into the domes of
Nào,
any
không throw nào,
adversary.
không throw nào.
It's remarkable the consistency that he's got. Had to deal there with a player in a pretty unexpected position at bottom tube. Forced a 1v1 and came out the better end of it. Something's in a fairly unwinnable position. Again, Alpha, yeah, goes hunting at the end. He is thirsty. Got his lockdown online. So overall, as well on both sides to try to deal with it, so the Killjoys are not in a perfect position to be able to get value out of their ults. But this has knocked PRX's economy back after just 2 rounds. And the plays that they're going for, getting shut down. This one, not necessarily set up, but a pretty reasonable timing for Divide to go for. Trying to take an unexpected peek, knowing that was probably a 1v1, but just gets sat in his place by the Turkish aim god. It's incredible when you think about some of the changes that these teams have made. Let's take it from Fnatic's perspective. Trying for another trophy without Leo and Durka, which I think people would have talked about them being absolutely fundamental parts of the reason that Fnatic were able to go back-to-back in 2023. But still able to rely on pillars of the team.
Trailing when it comes to that economy, but not with the rounds. They take the timeouts.
Chú like 2 ngày liên tục à? Đúng rồi con.
Hả? Con đứa gọi xu bằng chú hả?
Đúng rồi chị ơi. Em là chú từ lúc nào luôn rồi đó.
There's still a decent chance of success in these spots. But it's about getting Fnatic in situations and timings that they're not quite anticipating.
Well, quick dash though, this is Fnatic.
Way faster.
Way faster. No one from PRX to really receive. They might be able to get a few pot shots in potentially. Swinging wide as I say that, Divide.
Bác chơi FIFA đi thôi con ơi.
Mà chưa bao giờ tôi nhận ra khu gạt cái này.
Ây da. Ui, 5 máu.
Cut out the picture now, swarms. The nano swarms themselves, lockdown even being committed. PRX are using this ult on ults. They realize it's winnable. Up towards the top though, Boaster needs to be managed. Bullet to the side, Sheriff's there, and he needs to try and break this one. The bullet surely is just there. And one detainment on it, something sticking. Ult just yanked out of back pockets. Anything to secure this round for Fnatic.
Rồi xong luôn. 4-3.
Something trying to play his life to the final moments. The right click to no avail.
Không FIFA thì Roblox đi cụ. Vãi nồi. Hết chú xong đến cụ à. Roblox thì để khi nào đi chứ giờ Roblox thì không có nhiều game hay lắm đâu.
They did, in fact, manage to break the lockdown coming through from Alpha.
Enemy remaining.
Unfortunately, weaponry just not quite good enough, and not enough people caught in Device lockdown. This round, though, Forsaken, the end result of all of that, has that ult to empower the rest of his team to flood defend, and something with an op.
Deep push by Jing as well.
His op was amazing earlier on in the tournament. We got to see him pull it out on Ascent, and he was working magic with it.
I have the spike.
Giờ đang có game sinh tồn đấy. Ồ, ok.
Tell where Fnatic are looking to lead and end.
They're throwing down a slow orb over towards A, making it feel perhaps like they're taking early A control, and then Boaster leading them back towards B with 4 bodies. 3, sorry. Making sure that they're grouped up, able
Hay
to
lắm
trade
cậu.
out Patman if he
Ok.
goes for something wild.
Lộ khiêu tròn biết à.
Just him even going for a bit of a fight towards Taken. I mean, he's lucky to be alive there.
That's so bold.
Pop it up onto the box. And the read is only coming in just now. PRX realizing potentially a little bit late. Scattered bodies, but are going to hit a wall now. Realize that they've missed their mark, potentially. Snap towards the top. Patman's still alive here. Something from the side. And Alpha wants to try and slink in himself. There's 28 seconds left, and they're getting cold feet. They're going to go towards A. It's all on Alpha.
Alpha's found a beautiful timing here. Might be able to catch something in the back, and he's already calling for Boaster to make the rotate around.
Absolutely, and he bites his time perfectly. Just deleting adversaries now. There's 14 seconds left. You've got to get a move on.
He's going to be able to get spiked down here, though, Boaster.
Going forwards, there's a TP back behind as well, obfuscating the intent. Jing can really just put a stop to all of this right now, but Alpha in through mid, traded out, cleaned up. One left onto the site. Boaster is to try and put a stop to it, and the reflank as well occurring. Crashes, drifting all the way in, and backs towards him. They are none the wiser as I say that. Device shuts me up. It's left down to Boaster, being squeezed onto the site. Device and Jing tightening the net, spamming away, and they find their mark.
What awareness there from Divide towards the end. Crashy's knife out, trying to find the timing, almost perfect. And Divide just thinks to check behind for a moment towards screens. They haven't seen the Sova in a while. Look at that play though from Patman. Working his way forwards again, aggressively challenging as the plank goes down, always forcing Fnatic to work for it. And inside the pit, great coordination from Divide. And Forsaken, I think it was towards the end, just closing the net. Up back in the hands, something going aggro.
Yeah, straight down mid, but there's knives to meet him. Kayak is there, holding for the peak, the barrel, just poking out. Seems to be aware of the chance.
Has he spotted it?
I don't know. With the angles being played, he's definitely holding for it. He suspects it. Something going to overstep.
An inch further forward, and Kayak for sure would see it. There gives away the hand.
Yeah. Just from the jump spot there, and an attempt at a punish. Shot trapped. No committal. Alpha is right there.
That's an insane adjustment from Alpha here as well. Divide tries to swing into cover and gets deleted.
He's trying to plug up those gaps, but up through kitchen they are none the wiser. Again, it's Kayak. Drifted in, walking in. Dash is active. Missed the timing. Caught it on all of them. Kayak.
Trời ơi, tầm mình hay đấy.
Tears open the map. Fnatic, they realize they've got it at this point. Again, leaning hard on Alpha and Kayak to get it all done.
First global event. This is his first grand finals. It hasn't been that long since he won Ascension and started playing in the big leagues.
The money's not good. Something not long for this world at this point. Up put over towards the top. Kayak. Tasty little three-piece.
That's some unbelievable composure for a rookie player, though. That's the kind of timing that you would only expect somebody with a huge amount of experience to be able to pull off. And Jing just has no clue about that. It is a little rough when you watch it back from his POV.
but the trigger discipline. Panic from Patman. And they've let things slip a little bit here. PRX down onto another eco, and Fnatic with a great opportunity to tie it up. Alpha even going for an attack off. You know that in these kind of rounds, PRX are going to be trying to challenge you. Trying to bait out that aggression from the defenders and punish is all about what Fnatic are going for here today.
Jing really being the only player that can do some damage in this spot. Bulldog ripped in his hands. He's got bodies with him too. PRX trying to hold this one down.
There was a potential for a timing on the other side of the map as well, but Patman denied it as Alfia reconnects with the rest of the squad. This is going to end A into 3 at least.
Yeah.
The stack is here.
See how this one goes. Darts being held as well for the signs of life. There's smokes on smokes. Propped up into the face, but all contact. Slow and steady is called for by Fnatic, and that's the time to strike. Well, the iron is hot, and they find their timing. Perched up, Kayak. Just dishing it all out now with the bullets.
Jing tucked in. Patman deleted on the flank.
There's not much that Jing can really do from this spot. I mean, surely, yeah, just a bulldog. Can't quite get it under control. And Kayak
lại trốn lính rồi.
5 đều rồi. Liền canh gư.
You look at the two players that have been at the top of the scoreboard for Fnatic today. It's the same in map 1 and map 2. Alpha and Kayak finding their opportunities to be the playmakers as well. Opening up these rounds. From the entry and from the lurk. A reminder that Alfia brought an attack off into the previous round and he still got it here. So, looking to try to shut down something if he was playing on A Rafters. A pacey opening as well though. Taking this exec space quickly. Trying to punish Divide, for example, if he was going to be playing for the Orb, or Patman as well.
Jing has been prone for a little TP play or two. Alpha, slow as you go. Boomstick in his hands. He's been lights out. All up though to try and slow this approach. PRX trying to stall this one out, but there's a drone through, and Kayak is already up towards the top, and he's spotted it. Players, but he's taking bullets in the process. Tucked to the corner. If he's going to be able to survive as a wall to try and at least block some of the bullets. Forsaken grabs himself too, crashes right back at it.
Ôi dồi Jing, hay quá.
In through the back of the side, Jing. No time for overheating, son. Keep that gun out. 17
Ôi cái ốp. Ôi.
Alpha would have to just absolutely light them up, but it's a guessing game for him. PRX at least keep hold of this lead that they've had, at least for most of this map.
These are the timings I'm talking about though, Brent. You watch Crashy's POV here towards the replay. He throws out a recon dart, which means that Chronicles alone get in the plant. He does an amazing job of picking up Divide and Forsaken, but he then thinks he has a timing to send utility, and he's not ready for Jing's fight. PRX take timings that are just slightly off, and they do catch teams napping.
This is gonna be fun.
Can Fnatic tie things up at 6-6, or are PRX going to have the lead off the back of winning that pistol early?
Op v op. Kayak. Jones going to be spotting it. Clears something off the line. Patman. Look at it clear, but yeah, reposted back up. What a read by Fnatic.
Now that is gorgeous.
Hunter's Fury pulled out. Jing, he's in their spawn. He's already taken out Alpha yet. This is PRX offloading everything at their disposal now. Locked down, dropped down. But a plant down without any problems. Fnatic going to be retreating. Crashes in a prime spot.
In theory, Chronicle could actually go for this res in mid.
Smokes up in their face. Kayak barely forwards there. Divide, will he look to the side? There's a res in mid. Bringing these players back, but the Paranoia is already sweeping forwards. PRX, they take that timing and they take it themselves. Striking straight at them. And Fnatic have to rely all on Crash. He's up from the high ground, half on the fuse. Forsaken. Surely he's earned this now, but he's in that 1v2.
Ổ đều, ui càng dữ.
Crashy, so much experience in these big moments.
the last hope for North America in this tournament, and he comes through huge for Fnatic there with his positioning on site. PRX knew that the rest of the players from Fnatic were stuck in mid, and he had to do
Tại sao mình
everything
không
from
cầm
that high
Sova
ground.
đứng Odin Vap nó không để bắn nhầm. Phá tường.
What a run back from Fnatic. They bring it to 6-6.
Genius.
One hell of a map.
Red Bull gives you wings.
An update is required. Financial system updating. System updated.
We will dance together.
The future of money is here. Feels good.
Quá căng thẳng.
Hoàng Anh sắp tắt thở.
Tắt thở bà rồi.
We're back into it as well. The Coinbase Econ report. You can see even across the board here.
Yeah, I mean, and a huge amount of damage done by Alpha, yeah, which makes perfect sense because he's up towards 12 kills. Matched on the other side by Divide, but I think some of the impact that Alpha was having on the attack side, fairly unmatched. Now, I think the game is going to shift pretty significantly, though, here. This half, you heard the death set it up. Fnatic love playing the retake. They are going to be playing for Chronicles Wall retake on the pistol. That's their normal strategy, at least. And that is the entire opposite way that Gen G, for example, play. A team that smacked PRX around on this map in this half. PRX were constantly fighting, always denying, never allowing PRX any space. That's the Pacific style. Fnatic don't really play like that, so we're going to get a really different game here. In theory, PRX should actually have a ton of room to be able to get onto these sites.
PRX just walking for now.
This has been their style in all of the pistols on their attack side so far. Very contacty.
And the smokes, they hide the intent pretty well. Drifting up through window, a couple of random bullets as well. Fnatic are trying to reinforce this one, they're doubling it up. It's Boaster and Crashies against the bloody world. And they're ready to deliver. Crashies already with quick 2-1s, and now just around ideas. All gone a bit skew whiff, really. Fnatic are in complete control.
Chill.
Jing Smoke gave the game away there. A brilliant read from Fnatic. They knew exactly what was happening. Felt a little too similar perhaps to what's been happening on Sunset as well. All of those contacty plays around the map. Relying on the fact that Fnatic like playing deeper, more cautious positions. This time, Fnatic choose to draw a line in the sand at Kitchen.
Guys, like that confident. Go like that confident. If they're coming to you, run to them, bro. Just chill these noobs, bro.
It's a good point.
It's interesting that Alpha says that, because that is his way of playing, but it's not the way that Fnatic themselves usually fight.
Và một nỡ never.
Be interesting to see if his words of wisdom carry through. Boaster, though, backing off instead of stepping up, looking to try to play the numbers and play the retake. More of the classic Fnatic style.
Following those sound cues, looking to potentially take some early fights. Kayak. Shot to the body, Marshall will do that. There's no armor on the board here. Trying to go for that plant down. And if going to push this one back, not quite, it's going down. Slowly being collapsed upon here. PRX don't really stand a chance. Just from the hip, something classic does some damage, but that's about it.
A pretty clean round. Boaster and Alpha, they didn't even invest, so They've got plenty of opportunity here to have a good buy heading into their bonus round. But Fnatic are going to be doing a lot of this, where they're trying to react to what PRX are doing around the map. Trying to stack bodies and get in position to go for that retake. Kayak, though, is contesting as the plant goes down there. You know, Fnatic might have a bit of an adjustment. We've got to hear it from Alpha. But it will be very interesting if Fnatic decides to take the fight to PRX. Kayak picking up an operator. That's come out of the Boaster bank.
Okay.
It's a good job we're not doing the econ report now, I suppose, at the end of this one. But yeah, Boaster, always the selfless leader.
Kayak trying to post himself up. Well, the support, and wow, something. Eager to try and take that fight, Kayak makes him regret it.
Here.
Shoulders just poking out here. This is Fnatic.
Cover going out.
Pick advantage. Precisely the place they love to be in.
Jing's down to go really aggressive with this Omen. I've seen him teleport onto screens before. Ult into crazy spots. In a playmaking situation like this, down 4v5, you're wanting Jing to step up.
Hunter's Fury pulled out of it. That's early. Crashes earning his kills and his orbs up through mid. Another lurk happening. Jing is gone. Patman had to delete that turret, and Alfier's right there behind him. Avenging poor Timmy. Divide and Forsaken, you might have got this plant down. But how the hell are you going to dig yourself out of this one? Mistakes need to be made, and Fnatic not in the habit of making them often here. The dart against the back, all is revealed, and Forsaken can't do it all.
Fnatic overall in this tournament are playing about 2/3 of their rounds for retakes, but you see here, they're not all even 5v5 retakes. Finding picks as the attackers work their way in. Both from the operator and from the ultimates, applying that pressure and creating an easier retake for themselves. An almost impossible situation for those final two that were left alive. And I think they've got to be better at dealing with getting onto the line to fight Kayaks off. That was a pretty lazy way of trying to get onto that angle. One dart that didn't even land towards back yellow, and something swings at the same time.
Aggro here with a slow orb just to try and deny that belt space.
Both teams fighting for belt space and the ult orb.
Patman, hold on, walkabout, Sheriff in hand, he just can't quite control it. Alpha yet, lucky to be alive from that spot, but still claims the kill.
Definitely would have been a punish on a rifle round.
Now regrouping up, Fnatic have got bodies ready to receive. They can fully aware of this one and how it's going to be landing. That's a sideways swing. Sets up Divide perfectly. Stinger in hand. Plant can now go down here. They brought this to a 4v4. Most quarters weaponry. PRX are going to be looking to try and take this fight towards Fnatic. Oh, playing offside for it. Fnatic still grouped towards screens. The rifles looking to try and dissuade any chance of PRX getting away with that funny business. Grouped up together with the discipline. Chronicle, lights out from him.
16 rồi.
So dependable, so reliable. Very good reasons why he's the winningest player of all time in Valorant. A win here would be utterly incredible for Chronicle's career.
Rút dao ra mũi tôi.
Everything has been the whole time. Crashies did not like the way that he took that fight. Shot bullets at 3 separate people that ran past him. Had to bail out of that one early, but got bailed out by the rest of the team. This is now 4 rounds in a row for Fnatic to start the half. It was dead even as we went into the pistol, and now PRX is going to take a timeout. They've been taking a lot of these timeouts early on.
Yeah, second one now.
Final opportunity for Alex to have a bit of input. I mean, aside from later on if Fnatic decide to use one of their own. But it's got to be so stressful in his position too. They're still just settling into the BO5. It's a long way ahead. You can honestly afford to drop a map like this because you have Pearl coming up. You've got 2 maps that you're fantastic on later, Lotus and Split. But you don't want to squander any moments where you think you might be able to get it over the line. That's how opportunities slip. And Alex has seen it all.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, the rosters, they shift around. Individual players can come and go. But Alex has been there to witness every heartbreak and tried to fix them back onto the right path.
It's going to be tough going for PRX here. No more intervention happening from Alex's behalf. They're going to try and run this one back to do it alone.
PRX have been going for those mid lurks quite a lot. They put pressure on mid right at the start of the round, and they've had Pac-Man try to lurk. They haven't been very successful with it. At some point, I wonder whether it puts them off entirely.
Couple of stray shots there, Sheriff in hand. Already trying to dash straight up. An attempt of a punish. PRX are making this one fast and loose, playing it forwards. Risks to be had. This is that PRX of old, and just missing the top of nest. They're timing each other. Alpha A still active here, trying to drop back as well. He needs some safety and he needs some backup. But something is the one delivering depth. All out to the opposition.
3v4 chiêu thôi, chiêu.
Something's got to hold off a double flank, but Jing might be the playmaker over in Snowman.
Still player advantage, not for much longer. There it is. Something. He's even it out 3v3, but for the repeat, all expected. Kayak. 2v3 now.
Jing was just Jing was begging for people to come towards him, and really nobody has. Jing's positioning was cute, but no one's coming his way.
Crashy's brought back into the fold now. This is feeling inevitable. Updraft dash, Q play indeed, isolating the fight. Forsaken trying to make a go of it now, trying to really do the damage. But a bullet to the back, it's all up to Jing, and it's brought it to that 1v1. Smoke free smoke.
Rồi thằng mình này thế nhở?
Sticking, it denied the chance. They brought that one.
Gỡ thôi, gỡ thôi.
Back from an impossibility.
Really beautiful positioning and phenomenal impact from two incredible players.
Ui, Batman.
Có sẽ cường làm phát đỉnh luôn.
This play from Forsaken, again, enormous impact, just what Mel was talking about on the desk. He might not be exactly at the top of the scoreboard, but every kill he gets is huge impact. And he set up a 1v1 for Jing to slam dunk.
Stem the bleeding for now.
Kayak on another pretty aggressive position. The drone designed to try to push him off, and he dips, not giving away the fact that he's got the op.
Trying to repeat it as well. That's a wide face something. Lucky just evades the bullets.
Does Kayak
Ủa,
take
Killjoy setup
Alvia's
kìa.
advice and
Mày bịt
refight?
kín mid luôn.
Or is he looking to play risk averse and set up the retake with the rest of his team?
No dash available, it would be risky, just trying to take that timing inside that smoke, but the updraft, quick scope, bullets raining down onto him, something though has been dropped. Chopped down at the knees is what it seemed. Chronicle happy to deal out that damage here on site.
Still with recon. Kayak's op is fantastic at preempting these spots that PRX want to fight.
He's perfectly posted every single time. The dart is at 180. Pac-Man has got to do a lot from this spot. Jing, again, heroics are called for. It's forward. The positioning, they're looking to try and stunt it, trying to stop it. Knives in hand. PRX drawing blood. But again, that repeat playing into Fnatic's hands. The buy. Chronicle already on the diffuse.
Rồi mẹ
He's
qua
gonna start
tường.
swinging and he's gonna do it now.
Khó thế, khó thế.
Play for Crashies, watching for that peak.
Đây lên mây đưa xuống địa ngục. Cứ đi lên đi xuống đi lên đi
These
xuống.
rounds are going to be
Này
tilting Alex in the coaching booth. I
khó
think
thở.
it's just not good enough for PRX.
Như thế mới bắn được.
In the replay, how often they're
Lúc lên
playing
lúc xuống, lúc lên lúc xuống kiểu này team được đập nào không biết.
That was a bit of a
Đấy
double
mới
fight
là
together, but here Pac-Man swings with divine.
thằng pha tích cũng là thằng số 2 mà.
Đội tuyển tôi yêu.
With ideas of how they want to fight together or what timings they want to take together in the post plan. Because Fnatic are essentially just waiting.
Ngủ chưa?
They're not even really scaling on the retake. They're just holding.
Ngủ thì dẹp laptop nha.
PRX are going to run into the more.
Ủa anh này mấy giờ? Ủa?
Hết trận ngủ.
Hết trận.
PRX are all grouped up.
Ngủ sớm vậy? Là hết cái trận PRX này hả?
Ừ.
Hết này phải 5 giờ sáng.
Thế sớm dữ vậy.
Cái vui, đội tuyển tôi yêu. Đó là lý do mà chúng ta nên cẩn trọng trong đội tuyển chúng ta lựa chọn.
Cười bay yếu quá.
Nói bởi người mà cũng không cẩn trọng trong việc lựa chọn.
Yeah, my eyes immediately go to Divide, wondering when he's going to try to use this.
There it is. Smoke's dropped down. This is Fnatic trying to make a go. Lockdown's there. Already in. This is Fnatic trying to make a play for this.
Ui.
Kayak. There's no stopping.
Ui.
Disgusting work.
Quả là gần như là no scope luôn á.
Thôi rồi.
Forsaken is going to do it all. Offload him with the ult. It's time ticking, really. That point. Found the kill. Running them down, though. Forsaken will be finished.
727 hình như. Má. Mày dùng 2 cái ulti vẫn thua được. Anh làm này chết em.
How on earth do they get that into a 5v3 whilst battling through device lockdown? Not sure what's going through something
Mẹ pha này
on this
ui xồi.
I don't think that's a good one, but this shot is bonkers.
Cho thôi.
A ludicrous one for Kayak to be bringing out. Absolutely jet diffing something. And like I said, it's got to be tilting because I don't think PRX are actually playing these rounds particularly well in the post. Earlier on Sunset, I think you could argue both teams were really bringing a good game, but now PRX letting Icebox slip, and this could be Fnatic equalizing.
Kayak.
Ui, đắt, ồ đắt và đi lụy thế.
Thrown into the mix. Forsaken and Divide. There with a 3-2-1 swing. Chronicle gone, and PRX still alive in this map for now.
When all else fails, rely on the W gaming. That was a really large swing back towards Chaos. Controlled to some degree, sure. There was a double lurk set up, and Jing went for that same play, trying to get deep into Snowman on an unexpected timing. And this time finds a target to be able to work with. But it was Chaos. I mean, this play, Divide just running up tube into Alpha, yeah, he's just hoping he finds that timing and doesn't get punished. One round at a time. Fnatic choosing to go for a half buy here to make sure that their economy doesn't get completely broken.
Kayak swinging, and look at it just draw blood out of them. PRX.
Kiểu này nó tim lên xuống. Nổ tim bên ơi. Hay nè.
It's already anticipated.
Good awareness from Divide.
Yeah. Expecting it all now.
Crashes with a rifle. Boaster might be able to recover one if he completely repositioned, but at the moment, really isolated over in this snowman spot.
Đúng kiểu ai mất cái nhấn trước người thua ấy.
Should be PRX being able to pick this one up. 4v2.
Đấy, em hiểu vấn đề đấy. Chúng nó đang cố pick nhau á. Chúng nó đang cố pick nhau á.
The weapon of choice for Boaster, obviously. Not cleaned up though either, and that could spell problems. Jing pressing forwards, crashes now. He's got that rifle, needs to make it sing. He's already found himself two. Dart towards the back. Needs to be dealt
with. Mẹ 3 round nữa. Cái lộn má.
Ui.
Thở đi anh, sắp chết. Đừng tắt thở. Tắt thở thì nhà tớ không lo nổi.
Đủ quá.
Thở đi bạn ơi.
But now Alex with another opportunity to talk to the team. And honestly, this might be a blessing.
Bố cái ly Phúc Long mà thức bạn ơi. Dạ Phúc Long uống tỉnh ngủ lắm.
They don't look super confident right now.
Hả? Cái gì?
Không biết nói gì.
Không ổn. Coi đội tuyển mình chơi throw lên throw. Hả? Ý là bắn vẫn đang thắng nha, mà kiểu lúc thì trôi lúc mà không. Thế nó mới là đội tuyển tôi yêu. Yêu quá hả? Yêu quái.
Anh Bacon ơi. Nếu mà em có qua sớm quá thì em rủ mấy anh chơi được không?
Má nó nghiện, nó nghiện.
Hãy trả bắt quả tang nha.
Nó kiểu đấy em qua sớm quá mà mẹ anh chơi.
Em luôn đi Bacon được.
Nó quan trọng là hỏi có cho mượn máy hay không?
Chỉ hỏi vậy thôi.
Để anh bảo có hay không?
Để suy nghĩ.
Không sao, em chào khác mà phải chào anh đâu.
Ý là tính Thanh không thích người khác máy tính của mình.
PRX, Alex will happily take that space, but 3 rounds still stand between them, drawing it to OT.
Jing going for another really deep push.
Forwards, crashes, he's going to with a movement still. This is going to be rapid. And Jing's all the way round towards the side. One more TP. Try and get out of dodge there, but committing that paranoia. And Kayak filling in the pieces. Alpha to top in with the movement.
That's huge from Pac-Man, being able to pick off the 1v1 fight against Alpha and trade Chronicle.
3-2.
Over the place.
Pac-Man can't reconnect with the rest of his team to really pop down this Viper's pit on site.
Just tried to adjust, missing on either side.
Planted.
Opening down though into that 3v2 Boaster. Might have just caught eyes onto Pac-Man. Pac-Man tucked up close with Boaster is wise to it.
He's just trying to delay for as long as possible. Actually, maybe he didn't even... Oh, what an off angle.
God damn.
I thought for a moment there, maybe he hadn't realized the Boaster had spotted him, but repositioned into a spot that he was going to be favored on. And this round... I think, again, another reason why I was a little bit worried about Fnatic taking that attack pause. Because Jing immediately comes out of it with a really unexpected way of pressuring these players over towards the mid-split.
Timing.
Thrown over the top from Forsaken. Oh, and the timing here as well.
Timing.
This operator, it's critical to Fnatic's game plan.
And this sets us up with a strong potential for
OT chắc luôn rồi đó.
The Fnatic economy is in a really bad spot now. And so one more rifle round before OT. This play though, I think huge credit given to Pac-Man. Jing's in a pretty horrible spot there.
Pac-Man bắn đầu ấy.
And Pac-Man has to win the battle against Alpha yet before he can go and help him. Take a look at the buy though.
Đã ra tận 20 mạng.
Knives, okay, huge for a Kayak, but 3 stingers to support.
The rifle, the bolts on top of it. Kayak can't even escape.
I mean, that's insane from Jing just running through, but he has full trust in the paranoia.
Full aggression. They're not stopping now. The PRX of old wants to rear its head. The leash has been cut and snapped. There's no containing them. Like a pack of rabid velociraptors. Hungry.
Ui. Vai nổi.
You get to see the full gamut of PRX here. We started out on Sunset with them playing that slower, more strategic style. And now you get the full W gaming. The last 4 rounds have been really heavily powered by Jing just doing crazy stuff on Omen. And this last round, of regulation at least, Fnatic have got to try to make an adjustment to stop that in its tracks.
And they are all in. Why wouldn't you be operator here? Smoke in your face to try and obfuscate. This is the Hunter's Fury that's coming out swinging.
They thought it was another one of those fast hits. Crashies gets the ult baited out as PRX reset.
Conditioning for you. Device one away from an ult of his own now. Slower tempo. Even the ult just thrown into it. Jing obfuscating the intent, but bodies are now trying to form up.
That's supposed to draw bodies away from the A site and make it easier for PRX, but there's still a pit here. There's still a lockdown.
Yeah, it's a lockdown for a lockdown here in this spot. Alpha's ready. Puts it up close to the screens. What's the next level to all of this? Hunter's Fury going to be committed. It's going to be breaking that portion of it, and this has to be respected now. Fnatic, they've offloaded everything to try and stay into this round, but the pit's going to be going down. It crashes out into the open.
Boaster beefed it. That pit, you're supposed to get back inside, and he got detained.
And PRX not slowing down. Still that res brings Crashy back into the fold. Back into the fray. Watch the lie up through mid. PRX eager though. Looking to see if they can topple Fnatic before they stand and get a grip onto this retake. Pressing forwards, shoulder to shoulder discipline. It's helped so far, but Fnatic need it now in spades. Jing, that extra element. Drifted into the side here, double
Ôi, OT.
Thở đi không? Thở đi bạn ơi, giờ bạn thở mình khổ bạn. Hắn mà tắt thở thì tiền căn nhà mình Nguyệt lo chắc Nguyệt chết mất.
PRX dial up the tempo, something on a high ground. Jing deep in heaven, getting into aggressive positions, unexpected spots.
Đơn xin lỗi đi.
And even though Alpha dealt with the lurk, there were too many threats.
Cười điên.
The stress on both sides.
Fanatical.
And again, a reminder that when you look at the map pool, it feels a bit like a must-win for Fnatic. Next one is their permaban.
Standing ahead. Smoke on the corner, something. Glass cannon operator. Opted into heavy defensive setup here by PRX. Fnatic again, you're going to see that caution played by them. Tiptoeing around, a bit tepid, but trying to dissect the map. Thrown overhead, spots out the jet.
Yeah, spotting Kayak there gives you some decent information. An idea that it might well be ending A, so you can keep these 4 players. The trust they have in Patmen, just to hold down B if their read is wrong. But it's not at all. Forsaken with exactly the right idea of what's happening here. Boaster calling for a little bit more pressure over towards B, and PRX, they want info. They want to step up a little. Has Boaster sniffed this out? He's calling for Fnatic to reposition.
Into the B split, perhaps.
And this is going to put Patman's head on a swivel.
Yeah.
And maybe Patman's head on a spike.
Going to be turning up the heat. 25 seconds left. Down to the wire. Patman still has a snakebite to try and deny some space. Shot darts in your face. Walls up, same with the orbs. PRX starting to get a bit of a read on this one here, but again, Patman needs to try and deny. He steps forward, blind as anything. He does not know what's going on. PRX trying to even it out. Kayak with the peak, but the plan needs to go down. With no issues further. Crashes, commits. They're getting into the spot now. Fnatic putting a squeeze onto these PRX players. They're going to try and clear this guy out. Kayak, he's done, finished. Paranoia up top. Jing, the way.
Yo.
Nearsighted Chronicle may be, but this guy will not be denied. Something still there though, swinging wide. The operator switched around, weaponry now with a rifle. Time starting to tick in a 1v1. She's tepid approach, and it works best for him.
Pha đấy tự nhiên mẹ blind xong đi gần thế.
What a recovery in the 3v3 situation there. Boaster calling a brilliant slow round. It felt like Forsaken exactly knew what was happening, but the further the time ticked, the more that Boaster realized and sniffed out that stack on A. Chronicle to Legendary in that top nest position. And Fnatic once more have an opportunity to close.
Forwards, Kayak. Trying to fill in this space here. Oh my god, the pure disrespect. The dash is there. Boaster needs to try and stop them here, but he's isolated onto the corner and caught out wide. Kayak's still there though. This guy is eager to just try and play into the mechanics. PRX not stopping. The feed is filled with red and blood being spilt out onto the site. Tricky task indeed for Fnatic. Walls up and everyone is falling slowly but surely. Chronicle, last one left. 5 bullets left in a swing from Dubai. All the confidence in the world.
PRX have figured out exactly what is working on these attack sites. It definitely feels like they're the team that's closer to being able to close this out, to be honest with you. Despite the fact that Fnatic had so many map points to be able to work with, this looks like PRX is to lose because their attacks, the fast, aggressive approach, is just barreling through Fnatic.
What the fuck is this?
Something, again, that pulls out the operator, and Fnatic, they've got an extra timeout to use once things go to OT, and they're going to use it fairly early on. 13-13.
Cuối cùng.
And Milan wants input. Every player, by the way, on Fnatic, over 20 kills apart from Boaster, who's only got 7.
Thế bây giờ bọn mày muốn điên lẩu hay không? Mẹ nhanh lên lúc nào. Mẹ hai đi lao hoặc là mẹ ông đi muốn ăn hai đi lao không? Mẹ hai đi lao tí nữa đóng cửa rồi. Bắn nhanh lên về.
Very good performances, because all 4 of them have had huge rounds, big moments.
And Boaster's calling has still been finding impact, even if his rifle isn't.
That's what Fnatic are leaning on here.
To be honest, Brent, I think you look at the other side of things, and the player at the bottom of the scoreboard there is something. And if he can find one round, just one, with the defensive off, that will right all of the wrongs of what he's been up to in this map. Because PRX have already got the game plan for the attack side, it's working. If he can find a big operator round here, he could well put his team up to a maybe insurmountable lead.
Placing swamp grenade.
Fnatic taking his time to recuperate, breathe a little bit. It's a slow orb that could have been thrown out, but Forsaken, no, he's just, I mean, okay, scot-free.
Yeah, he was playing for that pretty heavily in regulation. Less important, arguably, here in overtime because everybody starts 3 away. Don't know if you noticed that Nano Swarm as well that was put down on top Jenny from Devi. That's where Kayak's been pathing to almost every time. So they've got a very specific counter plan here. Look at Jing holding that paranoia as well. They know exactly what they want to do to counter this Fnatic A hit.
Primed. Ready to pounce here.
It does feel like these timeouts have been helping Alex and PRX more than Fnatic.
Drone's broken. Deep control towards B. Any posturing by Fnatic is put to an end. And now, eyes set over towards A. Triple face, alarm bounce. It's going to be gone. Jing there with a paranoia! Oh my goodness!
It works perfectly. The game plan, absolute perfection.
Cut them to shreds, and Fnatic now left scrambling for options.
There's the op value as well. Devi tucked onto a position that's really tough to clear.
And Kayak is going to try and win that. Final bullets left!
Spike down.
Mid-animation Boaster, the captain
Còn thở
himself.
không ạ?
He's going to right the wrongs of the round, but on top of the ropes.
Rồi, rất nhiều máy thở.
Form of disrespect, PRX.
And that was the round that they needed. Every attack round has been going well for them. They won the last 5 in a row to close out regulation. It's been pacey, it's been fast. W gaming and the train keeps on trucking. Let's see if Fnatic have an answer, because all of the pressure is now on them.
Oh yeah. On their attack side, PRX are sending it.
Revealing area.
Grouped up, deep dark paranoia. They're making it feel like it's that fast B pressure. And Kayak is taking liberties, taking risks. Him versus Devi finds it.
That's huge info as well. You see Devi on this side of the map, you know at least that they're defaulting. You don't know for sure that they're coming back over towards A, but you know it's not that fast B hit. And look how quickly Alpha just takes all of this space on B.
Oh yeah, deep push. Mid-round information going to be given up here. The rest of his team, an attempt of a punish at a jump spot. Boaster, the acknowledgement he was looking for.
I mean, what a decision from Forsaken to try to fake.
Yeah, he's creeping in through the back. They already know he's there. Patman, really anticipated. Bodies out wide to the open. Patman just sidesteps it. Alternating with the movement, but tucked behind Dice. Forsaken is creeping forward. Off of that contact, Kayak. When is your time to strike? Deep dart, dash active, wall up into your face. Throw into the corner, clears him out though. We'll have to use it to disengage.
Chronicle can step in to cover that though. PRX still, even with all 3 players here, have got a difficult task.
3v4 wars down as well, out to the open. Jing is dropped.
30 seconds left.
The Fnatic have found it. They're footing the foundation. A safety net now, all the pressure's on Patman. 1v3, 20 seconds left. Taps it, looking for a kill, looking for a cheap fight. Again, he's not going to be given it. Snake bite, all the options.
Ôi,
To ruins.
má OT đến chết luôn mà. Càng dữ.
I respect the balls to go for a fake there. If it had worked, we'd be calling Forsaken a genius. But actually, he just deviated away from the game plan that's been working for PRX. The pace, the aggression, Fnatic did not have an answer for it. And instead in this round, maybe overcooking things slightly. Went to fake that fast pressure and played into the kind of tempo that Boaster's super happy to call against. Immediately, Kayak realized it was a fake. Alpha got quick on the flank, and now we're back to even.
14-14. Up overhead with the util.
Something still going for the operator. Every round on defense has been trying to make it work. Did find a little bit of value with it over towards B.
They've got to be watching out for this paranoia again. It worked so well last time for Jeng, but he's not really in a spot to use it now.
Cheeky with the positioning.
It looks to me like they're trying to fake that it's only Alpha here on A. You know, he's the player that's getting up, getting forwards.
What's man with the dart? It's going to be a drone. Fnatic faking like they're taking B control. Looking to see if they can pull bodies to make A a little bit weaker. Soften it up for the take now.
I mean, that's nice. Patman takes contact, which disguises where the operator is. So it could still be on A.
They're drifting though. PRX are losing control.
Mm-hmm.
Hard anchor it now, but they're seeing signs of life and hearing it on top of it. Nano swarms, deaded. All up in your face to delay.
Do they play to flood? Do they play to defend?
Mình liền thức dậy để nói OT3. Ai? Tao chết. Tao chết. Trời ơi, ôi cái lột gì vậy Trinh?
Ui, ôi, quả tay lè.
Theo anh nghĩ OT này tầm 18, 16 hoặc là 22.
Má.
17 15. Này tầm này 17 15.
Something here, operator in hand,
Ôi
but this
trời
is just dire.
Chết đâu?
Oscillating the momentum of this map. Happening round by
Gần,
round.
gần, gần, gần. Sau lưng. Ôi. Cái lồn má. Gì có
Quả đấy hết time rồi, hết time nó tưởng đang ở ngoài. Chịu rồi.
Các anh ơi. Thở đi, đừng khóc nữa.
Các anh làm cái này. Thở rồi.
You see it did land onto Crashies, but just there's way too many people around there. Again, respect.
Holy shit, that size, bro.
Respect for going for the play.
Mẹ, tâm trạng tao lộn sự tóc với thật đấy.
Simple might. PRX already close out the map at this point. And a couple of rounds ago, it felt like they were completely in control. Now it does not.
Now it's flipped. 180.
Thing is, though, PRX again could just go back to playing those fast attack sides. And we've yet to see Fnatic demonstrate they have an answer.
Mẹ, tự nhiên ngày mai thấy Hoàng Anh là phải đặt một lô máy thở mới vì hôm nay toàn bộ máy thở đều toan hết.
But the more that you have to battle against their map points, the more you start to overthink things. And this map, if it ends up being important later on, will be a difficult mental barrier to overcome for PRX if they lose control here. They did such a good job getting to overtime, denying 5 map points.
Fnatic have clawed it back. One more round is all they need to seal up Icebox, draw us level here in a best of 5 grand finals.
Với một cái thế này thì 3 map sau là đuối thật đấy.
Fnatic's job is to deny, keep that trophy out of reach.
Tries taking a peek here early.
Rồi. Ui, vẫn bị kìa. Cũng nhìn something, nhìn something bay nhảy.
They were born in it, molded by that play.
Beautiful anticipation from Forsaken. Now, the wall does still block Patman off. And Alpha, he's pushed up.
Alpha, you are so hard committed here, but he just spots it onto the drone as well. And my God, man! Does he deliver? Taken out eventually. But he's brought it into a 3v3. Hearing the footsteps, the rumble, Patman, there's a timing to be taken, and he just grasps it immediately, jumps on a chance.
And this isolates Crashies. Crashies would have to be a hero for Fnatic to get this across the line.
Towards the back of the box. Walking forwards here, there's a wall into their faces. There's a game on those timings. Again, Crashies, surely not long for the world. And there it is, Patman from behind. PRX not done yet.
Planted.
A round where Fnatic tried to pull out a cutesy play. And it leaves the caller in a 1v3. He's destroyed at the end. 15-15.
Là 17 thôi.
Neither team can get a proper advantage over the other and get a grip on this. They're bringing out tactics they probably haven't tried in quite some time. Both teams have got depth.
One enemy remaining.
But things get
Go lên.
the deeper you get.
All compliments.
Rồi đây này. Úi dồi ôi, đấy, lại ấy rồi. Về đi, được rồi, mất smoke rồi.
And Fnatic back up, anticipating some level of aggression elsewhere around the map. Alpha almost got an opportunity to pick off Patman in mid with that attack up. And Patman is not going to go for it again. PRX are anticipating a re-hit here, and that does look like the idea here.
Just cautious for now, though.
And Fnatic always with these opportunities to pivot back to Boaster. Boaster's done a very good job in this map of just applying options, giving himself options to work with.
Batman, chuẩn bị Batman.
Just making sure nobody pushes out of B, and once again Patman is asked to do so much.
On a knife's edge here, on top of the wall, it's a dart. Trying to take this time
Hôm
and
nay
pass.
thằng nào thấy tốt hơn thằng nào thắng rồi.
Take the fight to it.
Hai
It's
team
all
vẫn
the
hay
face of
rồi.
these players. Wall up now on top of it. Creeping forwards already.
He caught this time in before.
Wall up though.
Ôi trời kìa.
Watch for spam happening, occurring. Popping up on towards the top. Alpha! How the hell do you land that one? Spike planted. Best scenario you could really hope for to Fnatic in this spot here again. Alpha, shoulder peeking out. Taken out. Deep down against the back. Primed, ready, and finally let loose with the slow ups. And you can see that 3-2-1 with a swing. Timing to be taken. Something's on the flank. Already ripping his way all the way past. Needs to be taken out. Something. He's found it. Dash back already. But the time is ticking away. Two bullets, two players, not enough.
Mày chọn cái map đầu bá đi.
Fnatic again with a really solid round to put themselves up.
Đứng mẹ tim vậy.
So many opportunities to close this. The timing that Patman tries to take, he was rewarded for it previously. This time though, not focusing on the planter, seeing if he could catch a player that was looking to defend and failed. Forsaken pulls out the Odin to try to deny the orb, the wall perhaps?
Rất nhiều.
Second guessing it.
Yeah, decides not to go
Đều
for
là
it
hút
in the
yum.
end.
Còn đang dẫn 1-0 nữa.
Chắc phải làm key mode bú bình thật đấy.
Tí đấy.
Ủa gì đấy, Jake lại.
Trying to step up to that task that's ahead of them here.
Nghe cả sắc
And there's
50
the
mạng.
player that's been driving the train forwards. The engine power was coming from Jing in all of these fast attack
Cái map này
rounds.
xe thủ
Now
khó vãi chưởng.
something has to step up an entry. Dash already popped.
Chiến đấu. Thôi xong rồi, thôi.
Top there, just spotting it out and a damage done something.
Chắc không có.
They can feel it. Energy here on their sides. 3v5, it's all contact called for here by PRX. They're hoping there's an overextension.
Bắt đầu xử lý thì bắn danh rồi đấy.
Fnatic are always going to be disciplined. Snake bite up and over. Dodged and juked down towards the back to buy. He's to land these shots. There's no freebies handed to him. Fnatic just bite it out.
They're always expecting PRX to be the ones making the play. The time is going to be ticking here for Fnatic, though. They've got to go at some point.
Double face up towards the top. Patman reveals his hand with a snake bite drop down on top of it, and this is it.
Ai cà lồ.
Đây là 17 đúng chưa? Mỗi tội 15,7 cho Fnatic.
Một đều.
Này 32 rồi.
Trinh tự nhiên hai round lôi vào. Chích đầu xàm điên.
Come on!
Chắc là mẹ gương mức độ số 2 vào được.
Normally we say respect everyone, fear no one, but they don't give respect to them, okay? Just swing them, just smash their heads, okay?
Turkish wolf is hungry.
Mẹ bữa mình bú bình với Sentinel, nay tới lượt Hoàng Anh bú bình. Không sao. Ai rồi cũng trải nghiệm.
Làm gì chứ? Tìm anh.
Submission. Em đi ngủ nha mọi người.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Ok mọi người, số stream nha, tại vì số mẹ stream nhiều hơn được nữa rồi. Có thể chọn chung cái này nó sẽ lâu hơn số dự tính luôn á, nên là số phải đi ngủ sớm thôi. Để có gì đi ăn cùng với team nữa chứ. Ok. Mọi người muốn coi tiếp thì nhấn qua kênh của Hạnh Bacon nhé. Ok, số chúc mọi người ngon nhé. Bye mọi người. Good night, good night. Oyasumi nasai. Oyasumi minasan. Kênh chat nhé.